All right, welcome. We're just going to hop right in here. We've got Matthew Ane with us today as we do the Division One draft. Matt, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Excited to see how this draft pans out and get a sneak peek before mine.
Yeah, it has been interesting to say the least. So we're gonna hop right in here. I've got the screen share already up, and then we will just kind of get this rolling. So not really sure what to expect, but here we go.
Sweet.
Assuming I can get the buttons to work right, technology and things.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I'm going to make this prettier as we go, but they're getting antsy to start, so it should have just gone. There you go. All right, the clock is up. So the way this platform is built is it is anticipating everyone is going to be all four divisions are going to draft within the same system parameters. So it's a little bit different than what we've got in normal leagues, and so we're making some adjustments. But you can see the clock there is running, and it has an ungodly amount of time. But we're not going to take that much time today, so we'll make some adjustments here on the fly. And let me see if I can make a better scene while we go. So last place winner, which is Richard Falls, he's on the clock. Let me see if I can get a better picture. There you go. Christian McCaffrey's off the board. It's just kind of a no-brainer. I mean, we've talked about in our show, if he's up there, usually one of those that are just going to keep going.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, CeeDee Lamb, interesting. I didn't think he was going to go that high with, the whole, the hold-in situation. So that's a risky pick right now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of he's kind of fallen on in my rankings just based off of the fact that he's holding. You look at what happened with Josh Jacobs last year, how he came in out of shape and had a down season. Very well could be happening again with CeeDee Lamb.
Agreed. Here, let me make some adjustments here.
Thank you.
There we go. Jamar Chase is off the board now as well. Interesting. Not sure that's where I would have gone with this, but it is a 16-team league. Maybe there's some sort of strategy there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the Jamar Chase. It would have been Tyreek Hill there.
All right, let's see who's on the clock right now. Team 34, I think. I've got some audio issues too. All right, give me 1 second.
They're really taking advantage of the 16-6-6-6-6-6 time. It's hysterical.
All right, so there's our first conundrum, is we've got an auto drafter, which is you never want to see. And this is a new platform for us, so we're trying to figure out how do we best circumvent that. I don't want want to skip them. That would be bad. I mean, not for
I
me.
could draft. I could draft for him.
All right, here we go. What do you pick for him? Let's get this rolling.
Tyreek Hill. Can you search him?
I didn't see a search feature.
Oh, that's just dandy.
Yeah. Here we go. I have some display things I can fix here. Get this whole thing full screen.
And by the way, if this dude wins, I
Yeah,
get his
right.
credit.
There we go. Go.
So we got 3 wide receiver slots on this.
Yes, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 defense, 1 kicker is your starting lineup.
Okay.
See how well I can hide that chat there. It's alright. So it's an interesting system, but it looks like we've got a dedicated screen to it now at least, but I need to... There we go. Much better.
That's better.
Look at that. It's like an actual production now.
Yeah. Oh, so we had a couple picks, so I can't even see the whole board. So we got after I picked Hill, you got Bijan Robinson, brilliant pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown, no, AJ Brown, then Amon-Ra St. Brown, then Breece Hall, and then Justin Jefferson just went off the board.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is so Casey in the league chat said it's not going the way he thought it would, and I agree. It's just not how I thought it would have gone.
Me neither. Justin Jefferson, really risky pick too. I mean, you got Sam Darnold throwing to him, who hasn't been able to, even produce a number 3 wide receiver in terms of fantasy.
Yeah, this is
Last-
interesting. Interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I think the last time he was a starter, he threw 17 touchdowns in a single season. That sounds like if I were to go out there, I could throw 17 touchdowns in a single season.
Yeah, at this point, right?
That's
Just throw somebody out there.
Legit, I think they need to do what the Eagles did back in the 70s and just like have an open practice and see who has the best cannon. Because it's just going to get ugly in Minnesota. Hey, Joe the Loudmouth, I completely agree. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be great. Ooh, Saquon Barkley already. Interesting. I wish
Marvin
I could
Harrison Jr. is now off the board.
Oh, I want to be in this draft so bad.
Gotta wait your turn.
Ah. Garrett Wilson, interesting. You guys are having fun out there.
I'm curious what the prep was. I know this division in particular, they are the first ones, they're kind of our guinea pigs right now. So I apologize to them for that, but strategy-wise, it is interesting to see what they're doing.
Yeah, I've never done a full-blown 16-man league, but you know, this is gonna be great.
There we go. Hide the chat a little bit there,
Yeah.
just so they can shit talk their way through this. And yes, sorry, I use the term guinea pigs, which I hate using, but it is unfortunately true. But I've been playing a severe game of catch-up this week, and this is a part of the software I did not get to test beforehand because I couldn't create 16 fake accounts real quick to mess with it. So we'll get there.
I hear you. Yeah, by my draft it'll be figured out, thank God. Who is that? Source Center? Or sorry, I'm out of it. It's been a day. Yeah. Oh, Source. God, I can't read. But the guy in the chat talking about Justin Jefferson, I don't think he's even gonna have 1,000 yards. Josh Dobbs is better than Darnold there.
There's some fun here. We're gonna make some room. The draft wants to join the chat, so let me see if I can build in some capacity here, and we'll get them in. All right, Wilson's off the board. Who's team 64?
Floyd. To draft him twice.
Yeah, you might be up here.
All right. All right. Well, let me look at my rankings. Why not? A little mock draft action. I'll draft twice. This will be fun. All right. Give me Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. There you go. All right, let's see who we've got here.
Too good. Too good, guys. Too good.
All right, so we got Lefty joining us. Lefty, what's your actual name? So we are not screwing this up here.
Guys, Team 36. I couldn't get it updated, but I appreciate it. Can you hear me there?
Oh, yeah, so you're Eric Arena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going? So you took Robinson in the first, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was a great pick.
I thought so too. I mean, I was for sure I was gonna have Jamar Chase there.
I think I still probably would have picked Bijan.
Yeah. And who did you just take off the board there? You had Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, yep.
They wanted. But it wasn't.
I'm drafting for two people, so this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got to figure out this auto pick thing. There should have been a way to.
You could probably edit the settings for how long it takes to pick.
Yeah.
There's that setting button on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up on a different screen so I'm not. Oh, we got another one joining us. Here we go. Hang on.
I think this is the first half PPR that I've played, so that's definitely new for me.
Hey, Casey, give us a second. I'll bid you in. There you
No
go.
worries.
There we go. Now we got our Brady Bunch going.
That's fantastic.
So, Casey, looks like you took off Gibbs off the board.
I did. Now the first snake is usually pretty predictable, although this one was interesting. It wound up where it was supposed to wind up, but really interesting picks this first go round.
So I would have never thought that AJ Brown would have been picked ahead of a bunch of people.
Who's Team 21? They on auto pick too?
It is one of the auto, or no, that's Teamer Terry. He is one of the newer teams. I thought he was in here.
What do you guys think of the
ready
Breece Hall 2024 outlook?
Oh, he's gonna be an atom. Be really. I mean, usually what it is when a guy's second year off an ACL, that's when they're kind of like normal. And I think we only got a small taste of it. The only thing that's probably gonna be different is you look at what do you call it? The receptions now that they're not gonna be dumping it off since Aaron Rodgers can actually throw the ball versus Zach, steal your mom, Wilson. I think that he's going to have a phenomenal season. I'll probably end up with like 60 receptions and probably like 1,400 yards and 12 rushing touchdowns. Did I say?
Yeah, I think so. I tend to stay away from former injuries. I just I get nervous, especially early on. But that's kind of one strategy that I put toward it, is at least staying away.
Oh, Matt just went quarterback, man. First quarterback picked.
Wow.
Nice. Wow. I mean, Josh
go,
Allen,
Matt.
I mean, go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's an interesting strategy because, I mean, he's going to be sitting for a good while. Like, he could probably go balance his checkbook and still have plenty of time.
Fair enough.
So what do we got here?
Oh boy. At least he did it on the turn. Wasn't his first round pick.
I guess it doesn't really matter though at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't see.
Are we gonna see how many people we could fit on this screen?
So I think the cap is 4. I'm going to try for 5, but there's also no setting to change the auto pick timer, which is noted as a feature request. So I'm going to request.
What's the default on it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
The default is Matt picks. Who's the other guy? I forgot. What's the second team I drafted for?
64. So the team after Casey's pick.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, let's see if I can get another one in here.
The second team I drafted
Me.
64.
Hey, it works.
Pick.
Okay.
Next quarterback just
Here
went.
we are.
Hurts just went. Wow. Man, Matt started the
He
floodgates.
started the run.
He did.
Oh boy.
Joe, welcome to the stream.
How you guys doing?
Yeah. We are good. Working through some technical stuff, but we're getting there.
All right.
How's your draft?
I'm doing all right. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yesterday had a draft, and I don't know. I picked 10, had back-to-backs. I didn't like how my draft ended up, but of course Yahoo gave me A+.
Those right. Yahoo rankings are never accurate.
No.
You know what though? Yahoo has come a long way in how they run their platform and their app, though. Their app is one of the better ones out there. I can't lie.
That is true.
And we're all using phones, right? We're all on our phone 9 times out of 10. We're all somewhere with a family and like, oh, got to check the lineup, got to grab someone. So I've realized the app has got to be the best thing out there to get your added drops in quick. You know what I mean? So that's why I always look for the best app whenever I do anything.
Yeah, all my family leagues are on the Yahoo. ESPN's
Yeah.
shiny and fancy, but it's not the most robust thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the update. I hate the update. They ruined everything.
Which one,
They're free
ESPN?
agencies. No, on Yahoo.
Oh.
I'm really upset. I've been using Yahoo for like 12 years, and it's
Yeah.
just I'm very disappointed. I'm up. It's Team 64. I will take Kyron Williams. This person's gonna love me.
Lake Corp's
right,
gonna come
so-
in there and take it, dude.
I have a random third.
No way.
I have a random third party who's drafting for 64 now. So this way you only have to do one.
Okay.
And they're texting in Devontae Adams.
Okay, though,
Let
that's a
him have
bad
him.
pick.
Nice.
Let him have him. Take him. Here you go. Do it again. Do
I
it
say
again.
I don't want him, so I'm glad someone else took him.
Now I guarantee Kyron Williams is the next person off the board, and boom.
Oh, Deebo Samuel.
Really?
Interesting.
Interesting. Overall,
Anticipating
Okay.
that Ayuk leaving?
it sounds like he's about to sign. And
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they kept up after our show because those rankings were almost immediately irrelevant between DK Metcalf throwing helmets at people and Ayuk looking like he might stay.
Jive Turkey making some jive picks. Pacheco and Harrison. And the thing is, if you take a rookie that early, you better be sure he's
Yeah.
gonna.
Mm.
And I like Harrison, but man, come on, Kyler. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure.
I don't know. Kyler's finished as a top 10 quarterback the last
did.
his whole career, except for the 2 years he was injured. But he also has a consistency rating of that of like an A+, and he finishes as top 10 about 60% of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. And then you look at the DeAndre Hopkins experience. You look at what he did with literally just Trey McBride. I think he's going to be just fine.
Mar Jackson's
I've
off the
actually
board.
I've
I can't
raised-
believe how fast the quarterbacks I feel like that's super quick for QBs for this draft.
Yeah,
That's insane.
not the
We're
strategy I would
technically
have.
in round
Pick.
3 though.
You don't
Not
get
with
that
how deep you
turn
want.
so
Not
quick.
with how deep we want wide receivers. I mean, you want 3 wide receivers starting.
That's one
There's
of the
Kyron.
things. Yeah, the 3 wide receiver core.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're going to
There's
be
Kyron.
lacking
He-
depth. Yeah, he's gone now. But I mean these teams are
Don't
going to
get me
be
wrong. I like
lacking
I like
depth.
a good QB, but dang.
Wife comes down here. I was like, I'm live, honey. She's like, oh.
Make her pick the next draft or your next pick for you.
She brought me a brownie, but I don't think she was dressed the part.
Oh jeez.
I'm like,
Was it a special brownie?
no, that's later. All right, so it's my pick now. Let's see what we're gonna do here. So
Harrison Butker for the win.
I'm gonna take a second to explain this. So
Okay,
you were
I should
talking
go
about
with
the
me here.
quarterbacks going early. Now I'm considering a quarterback here, and being a Lions fan, I'm considering
Wow.
a tight end here.
Okay.
But I don't want to go that far. All right, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to take a quarterback.
All right.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Wow.
I mean,
Do
there's
you guys, do you have any guesses who it is?
Well,
pick
if we go down,
confident,
if we
man.
go down the list, is it
Mahomes,
I mean,
There's a chance it's Mahomes.
Justin Fields. There you go.
mean, do you guys see? I always said I'm a Chiefs fan, a Lions fan, and I'm a Saints fan. There isn't too many good Saints out there right now, guys. And
Taysom.
all right, let me go ahead and try to find him here. Takes a second here. All right, yep. Jack, Chan, Derrick Henry. Come on, he's still out there. What do I got? Yep, I'm going quarterback, guys. I gotta do it. I gotta get me my Chief. I gotta go
Yeah.
Mahomes. I think he's gonna do better than he did last year. Maybe Brown comes back and plays like Hollywood. Maybe Kelsey got his fill of, or maybe Phil Taylor Swift. I don't know. Maybe we'll
There
go
goes
ahead and
Kelsey.
get that little,
Kelsey
I knew
goes
that
right
was gonna
after.
be long.
What was it behind? What was the behind the back catch or whatever it was?
You see that?
I did. He said
He's just next level. He's just next level. But last year with that injury to start the season, you kind of knew something was going to go wrong then.
well, he said he threw it behind his back because he thought he was pissed, or he said he was pissed at Kelsey, but then he caught it, so now it's a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
36.
I mean, I just think that Drake London is such an exceptional talent. I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's gonna fall away, and I really like Nico Collins this season. I might be talking out of left field here, but I really do. Jalen Waddle, I think I'm almost definitely gonna take a wide receiver here. I'm going to go with Drake London. Might as well punch that in now.
I like it when people talk about their picks a little bit. You know what I mean? It kind of gives you sit there and you watch people go through thought processes, and especially in a league like this right now where there's nothing gigantic on the line, right? So you kind of want to see what people have in their thought process. Like we were talking quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts. I mean, after last year, that's just way too early for him. I'm sure this guy has a reason, or gal has a reason. I didn't really see the name there. But after you go ahead and pick Puka Nacua, you better have a home run ready to go right after that. Especially, I mean, so I'm just looking at some of these down the line of people who are picking quarterbacks, you know, and I like Lamar Jackson. If you have Saquon Barkley, I have no problem with that. Etienne, you know, when you're picking young players, you better have a track record if you're picking them in the first round. He's pretty good, but is Lawrence going to be there? Sorry, I'm talking it all up. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Matt, you're up.
I'm up. All right. I mean, I can explain my thought process on this. Since I have Tyreek Hill, I don't honestly have to go wide receiver for, I think, about 2 rounds, if I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get a nice tight end, which I'm not going to do. Or I can start my running back since there's a couple.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to start off with Rashad White and, you know, start my first running back receiving. So I get the half point. He's going to get a bunch of targets, bunch of receptions. It's a nice way to start off my day, and I think my next pick is going to be just as nice. I'm pretty excited. I don't know if you're going to see Laporta coming back to you, though.
Yeah.
You said Rashad White?
Yeah.
There he goes.
Dude, I like Laporta. I mean, that's your next big tight end in the league. That's your next big standout. That's next level, if you ask me, my opinion. But then again, I'm a Lions fan. And then I'm a Chiefs fan, so you kind of see the same thing in Laporta that you see in Kelsey. Do you not? The way
Are you from Detroit?
Yeah, I lived in Detroit, grew up there, went down to New Orleans for a while, went through Hurricane Katrina, so I became a part of loving what the Saints did for the city, and then moved back up here to West Michigan, where I live near Grand Rapids now, so city outside Grand Rapids.
I'm originally from Canton, the Canton area, so that's why I was asking.
Canton. Yeah.
So
not too far.
No.
Football, Southgate and Flat Rock.
Okay. Yep. There it is. I had friends who lived down in Southgate. I actually used to work at the Taylor JCPenney down there. So
Southland Mall.
Corey gave me a hard time for being a Lions fan. That's why I was asking. I was like, man,
only because you live in not in the Lions territory.
Correct,
right.
But when you're in the
See,
Bears
the
territory, you can't root for the Bears. Come on now, not right now at least.
There's lots of Lions fans out there right now. There's lots of them that are coming on board with the way this team has been playing.
They're going into Dallas for a Monday night game, and I think I'm going to be out there then, and I'm probably going to go to it.
Nice.
It's looking a little expensive, but I haven't been to Jerry World yet, so.
I couldn't pay me to step foot in that place.
You're going to have to pay a lot to step in. It's quite the opposite.
Exactly. So I'm definitely not going. Being a New York fan, that ain't happening.
Yeah, man. Are the Giants going to turn things around this year or what?
No,
Can they finally get on track?
No, we're going to suck so bad it's not even funny. Top 3 pick.
Saquon's going to come into town and actually go off.
Oh, I think Saquon's probably gonna finish as the #1 running back. In all honesty, because it's the best offensive line he's ever had, and best offense he's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
You guys.
I was thinking about taking him where St. Brown was. No joke. See, that's what I'm talking about with chalk. They got Saquon Barkley there. Why? because of last year's ending performances where people were thinking, the guy's on a run team now where they're going to hand him the ball at the goal line every time. Jalen Hurts ain't getting those goal line carries anymore, guys. Not with Saquon there, not with what they're paying him, not with Jalen getting
Well-
the injuries he's had with his legs. And without Jalen, they were nothing. Let's be honest. So they're going to give him the rock all the time, Saquon.
I think the tush push is going to come into a factor. If he doesn't get it the first shot, they're going to put literally Saquon and his massive legs behind Hurts' massive legs, and then he's going to get the touchdown every time, unfortunately. But I want to see
They
if
don't
they
have
can get now.
Kelsey at center anymore. That
Hey,
matters.
From everything I'm hearing and reading, they're rating his replacement as pretty darn good. Kelsey even came out and said he's been working with him for the last 2 years, so he should be not obviously a Hall of Fame direct replacement, but enough and probably better than 3/4 of the league. So it's just a matter of he was playing guard, now he's going to center. Who's taking guard? That's where I feel it is. And the second you lose Lane Johnson, that's going to be the hole, which Lane Johnson likes to get hurt like a guy walking into a bar and ordering a drink. So it's going to be interesting, but I still think that line is still better than the Giants have had, even with Lane Johnson hurt, for the last decade. So
There
he's
goes
going to be just
Laporta.
fine.
Oof. Yeah,
Yep,
that's a
there's
good
Laporta.
pick. We talked somebody into that, did we not?
Probably.
Yeah.
We did. And I'm not mad at it, dude. I mean, you want to see a guy like that go because it keeps the draft kind of symmetrical. Because if guys like that are falling,
Yep. And he's got back-to-back, too, so I wonder what he pairs it up with.
Yeah, I like it just because he has the roundabout. This early, I don't even touch anything but wide receiver and running back.
Yeah, I pretty much draft the same way, unless it's something like back in the Gronkowski days where he's putting up numbers like a receiver would.
Yeah,
And Mike
and
Evans.
Laporte is interesting because he totally could, but there's also Kincaid that might. There's also Kittle if Ayuk leaves. There's also there
yeah,
still could be Kyle Pitts if Cousins just decides to actually show up and have even 3/4 of his Achilles. So there's actually 4 guys that can do it, and I don't think Kelsey is one of them at the end of the day. Which is bold and a hot take, but it might come to fruition.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a
Yeah.
hot take at all, especially with Kelsey having the season he had last year. He's on that fall off. He is now. He fell off last year. Just did. Is he great? Is he still a first ballot? Do I still want him on my team if I can? Yeah, but he's not that top level like he was. We just saw it. He wasn't getting the separation. He wasn't reaching for those catches like he used to. We saw those ones that he would lay out for before. He wasn't making those attempts last year. He wasn't.
Nah, he waited all for the playoffs, and that's all that matters to that team because they're gonna sweep that division. They're gonna roll. They're gonna throttle him, and you're probably gonna run less routes this year. And then last couple games they'll start getting them loose and goose, which will be good for the playoffs. But then, cool, you got screwed all year, and what? This guy just spent a second-round pick in a very deep draft. I don't think it's gonna pan out.
You guys are going to be shocked at my next pick if I end up. It's going to be super early, but I'm all right. Can't believe
Oh,
I
boy.
can't. Some of these picks here, like I've been talking about chalk with rankings. Like when we look at rankings here on this site, do we trust the rankings just because they're the rankings, right? Because let's look
No
at
way.
the clock here. The clock here isn't exactly perfect, so
Yeah.
why do we trust their rankings and stuff, right? So there's stuff
Yeah.
I'm seeing down here low. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Not you, but the people who put these rankings here. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe that'll help us out.
Yeah, I do wonder where they source these rankings from.
Yeah.
It's probably their own. Most of the sites
Yeah.
they filter in their own.
Yeah.
I do freelancing, guys. Just a heads up, you can totally call me.
Yeah.
We
We all
I got a
do, right?
baseball
We're all
podcast.
hoping to be that next guy.
Yeah, I got a baseball podcast too.
Yeah.
You can call me. I can slide that. We can get this covered. It'd be a lot better than what you got showing up.
Yeah, no, I'll address the clock thing. So you're seeing an ungodly amount of time. So the system is built with the intent of all the divisions drafting at the same time, which would have just been ridiculous. And so we were working through tech support, and they said to basically rearrange the picks so that the Division 1 went first, and then the actual timer of the overall draft is reflecting all 4 divisions, and so it's just set to forever essentially.
That's ridiculous.
It is kind of nuts.
Awesome at the same time. All right, Team 34, back to them.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Who went?
We're talking too much.
Yeah, who went?
That's the fun of it, dude. That's what live drafts are. That's awesome. Like a live draft like this. If Yahoo could do this or ESPN, man, those leagues would get filled in no time.
Yeah. All right. So they left a low-hanging fruit for me. I have to do it. I'm gonna go with James Cook. I was gonna go wide receiver, but to give me that running back that just sitting there that I have in my top 10, and that's going to just legit get all the volume in the world, but with receptions and also rushing yards, it's going to be fantastic. He's going to get sniped a little bit, but at the same time, Allen might not have as much freedom to run into the end zone because they know it can't go anywhere else. So it might all fall on him.
Fair point.
I'm really excited. So
James Cook.
I got 2 running backs. Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Yes. I have two running backs right now that are going to catch a whole lot of balls. Unfortunately, this isn't my real team.
Huh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm not taking running backs until late with the 0 running back thing. This is my strategy here.
I don't blame you.
I am looking
There's
at
just
Josh
too
Jacobs
many-
right
too
now
many
as we
young-
speak. Hard to.
I like going heavier RB even in half PPR with the three wide receiver slots, because I could get depth. I could get 3 solid receivers. Running backs have guaranteed production and guaranteed options and even bigger threat in the red zone.
Running backs get hurt way too easily too. I don't know.
They do, but so do wide receivers. I mean, it's the name of the game, right? Football is probably one of those sports where any guy can get hurt on any given Sunday or any given practice, unfortunately.
Like down the line, you got Singletary, Eckler, way the hell down there. Come on, I mean, Jonathan Brooks, dude, and I mean, I'm just to talk. I mean, not to but Jonathan Brooks is way down there at 116. He's going to be starting in Carolina. Feel free to take running backs, guys.
Yeah, I love Brooks. He's just he's going to end up on the pup and miss the first 6 weeks.
Yep, saw that.
So you only have 1 IR spot. So you pretty much any of your guys get hurt, you're now clogging it up. So that's the only deficit of drafting him in this league.
Like, see, I was planning on taking maybe a Jacobs or something like that, but they're all going to go, dude. Like, so what am I going to do? Reach for a running back? No.
I mean, at this point, if there's nobody that's actually within a tier and you have a guy in a tier that's higher, I would totally go with the best player on the board. I agree with your approach. Damn, Cooper Kupp went.
Yeah. Like, I just got sniped, dude, on both the 2 I was taking, right? So you get sniped, you're like, what am I going to do? Now am I going to reach for Alvin Kamara because I like the Saints, because he gets 400 yards this year? Right? So
he's totally going to...
Seems like everyone's
what I
running
mean?
away from Jalen Waddle, though.
Give me that all
why
day.
not? I mean, I'm about to grab him here because why wouldn't I? Like Tyreek Hill, I mean, it's him and Tyreek Hill. We already know that, it's these 2. They're going to throw the ball. Achane, he's 5'1". Mostert's 88 years old. He'll get 47 touchdowns on 3 tries at the goal line. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's either Ayuk. If he goes to Pittsburgh, there's going to be a lot of balls thrown all over the place to Pickens, 10 feet high. Ain't going to trust it going to Ayuk the same. Nico Collins is a mess. Allen now in Chicago leaves DJ Moore vulnerable. There's just no studs left out there except this guy right here. Yeah, I'm going Waddle.
Makes
Go
sense.
ahead and get. Wait, let me give him one more chance in there and look at a tight end.
It's a good pick.
Yep, I'm going wide receiver Waddle. Everybody's running from him, not I.
Say no one's picked up a kicker or defense yet if you want to start that run.
Considering next round.
Yeah.
Strong 4th round option.
49ers
But see-
defense. Done.
See, the 0 running back strategy, though, like, you guys have Josh Jacobs and like I'm looking at these. You guys got good running backs, right? Here's the thing though, even though you got good running backs, McCaffrey and Robinson and Hall, which ones of those are going to get hurt and which backups are going to perform? It's a guarantee some of them are, right? Like, is it going to be Barkley? Doubt it. Etienne. Gibbs is going to be Montgomery who comes in and picks up all this. So it's like somebody's going to get hurt. It's as old as the tail is wide. Like DeAndre Swift and just a lot of depth out there at running back for like people who aren't going to get 1,500 yards but may get you points.
Right.
Is it me or does it seem like tight ends extremely deep this year?
Yeah, I don't think there's as much urgency. There's usually a rush to get the top 2 or 3, and then you just sit on it. But now it seems like you can probably wait a bit.
There's like 3 solid picks, 2 guys that are like, okay, cool. They have total upside, and the rest all have random outcomes that are gonna look exactly the same.
Yeah. And then there's some that you could get away with just streaming for a couple days. You know what I mean? A couple weeks.
Facts.
What about Kyle Pitts? Do you think he finally has a breakout kind of season?
With Cousins, maybe. But are they going to screw around and trade him and play with Penix?
Right.
I think that I don't think they'll be able to trade him. It's just cap hit.
That salary.
Yeah, they guarantee.
You never know what
$100
quarterback
million.
gets hurt, though, right?
Yeah.
See, injuries is such a big part of the game, and I don't think people underestimate it because we know how it goes. We're watching the injury report, but as far as production down the line, like who are we starting in week 16 because our people are hurt? Like people we don't even think about right now, we're going to be starting in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's the best part of the NFL, right?
It is. Like I won using Liddell bets years ago. You know what I mean? Come on.
Mark Andrews, there he is.
Not a bad pick.
That's a great pick. That's a great pick. Good value.
Yeah. It depends on where the next tight end falls, really, on the value aspect.
I was waiting for Ayuk to go at that point.
Because I always think, like, it depends on, like, if you're starting the run and you grab it right before, maybe that's a good value pick. But if you're able to get him there and then the next tight end who's of the same value is, like, in the 5th round, but you picked up, like say, for instance, there's a couple tight ends I will say that's just as good as Andrews that maybe, 2 rounds later. But if that started the run, that's just my take on the value aspect.
Yeah, fair point. Here goes Ayuk.
Yep.
Okay.
DK Metcalf, great pick there, in my opinion.
Hopefully he doesn't get suspended.
Yeah.
Why? What happened now?
What's going
on
with
that defense thing where he threw his helmet or what he swung his helmet at the cornerback?
He'll be fine. If it would have,
was this something new, like in the preseason, or something? What happened last year?
I think he already would have got suspended if he was going to get it already.
Yeah, they typically do it though. Like after the last preseason game, though, they're like, "Oh yeah, now by the way, you're suspended." Remember, like all the Josh Gordon nonsense, like through the preseason he'd play that. Oh yeah, by the way.
That is true, actually. I forgot about that. They love to screw with the fantasy community.
Do. I think they kind of do. The fantasy community has generated so much money for this game. To act like it's not an impact on some of the decisions that are made is so 2000. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's back when the time when we were like, hey, let's all start a magazine. Hey, let's all start a webcast or something about fantasy football. People are like, no, it won't. Look at it now. Everybody is on top of it.
It's wild. The fantasy itself has honestly is what keeps everybody interested, especially people that weren't interested in sports, that like love to be nerdy.
Yeah.
It's so much better. I'm one of those people. I love sports, but like to get me to pay attention to the whole league, yeah, no. Now I do. I know every single player.
Right.
Because
even the
it was
backups
esports.
that you never paid attention to, you're like, oh my God, that guy's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, can I tell you a true story about Aaron Hernandez being drafted after he was in jail?
Oh boy.
So I was my biggest league. I had this biggest league. I was in it for 20 years, and one of the people died, so it kind of dissolved, right? But years before, we had this guy who was just he was the Make-A-Wish kid, right? You know what I mean? Like he was the one that you would always be like, hey, dude, don't do that. Come on. So in one of the drafts, like the arrest happens like day before, right? Like 2-3 days before the draft. It's all over everything. This guy walks into the draft. Thought he took this guy, Aaron Hernandez, thinking he's all... Everybody at the draft just sat there and looked. Didn't tell him anything. He scrolls through his phone a little while later. He goes, did you hear Aaron Hernandez got arrested? We all lose our mind. We're like, dude, why do you think you got him there? So people don't pay attention as much as you think they do. And even now with technology, there's still people you see in some leagues who are like, how do you not pay attention? How are you not?
Well, you got to keep in mind, not everybody's as in tuned as you guys. I mean, that's
unacceptable.
I don't agree with that. I don't watch football. I literally won't watch a game. I'll just play it because I like the stats on it. So like you got to remember that some people are not as hardcore about it as others are. Now, to their credit, those who are hardcore typically win more. I'm not the type of person who's gonna pick off of team colors or whatever. I at least try to do a little due diligence. But if there's like you guys were mentioning injury reports and stuff earlier, if I pick someone who's been injured, I'm not going to have a clue because I haven't been paying attention to that.
Well, on that end too, though, if as long as you're looking at the account, it should have like some sort of indicator, like a red letter, like they're injured or they're out or they're doubtful.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're right. There's little notes next to people. I mean, that's the thing, is that you can go as hardcore on this as you want. But that said, if you got somebody who's in the league who's trying to be who's a jerk and is gloating and everything and doesn't pay attention to that stuff, then they get what's coming to them. It sounds like this particular guy was that guy. So, yeah.
And he was in the league years, and it's just, we were kind of amazed that he didn't even know. Like it's big news. It wasn't just sports news. It was national news. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that particular one was, yes, that was national news, and I will give you that. Yes.
So that was entertaining though, because he thought we were like, did you guys know that he got arrested? I'm like, what? It was pretty amazing. It was funny at the time. I was at a draft one time. A guy just had a seizure and passed over, got back up and made his draft pick.
Wow.
The strangest things at draft picks, man. Like, strangest. I've been playing for 30 years, no joke. I started playing when I was about 13, right? Like, me and my buddies would get the paper and do it on Monday morning, like before there were even websites. And then Yahoo got its website, and our world was changed. But then again, they didn't do the automatic updating at the time. And they didn't even have fractional points at the time when Yahoo first came out.
Who's Team 21? I can't remember. Was that one of our auto ones?
No, it's Teamer. Let me see if he's up.
Are we talking too much?
No, it's showing that he's on.
Did anybody ever buy themselves a championship ring to talk shit or stuff?
Well, this is last year's.
Well, now he's off.
This is last year's.
I love it. I love it, dude. I bought a ring when I went into the draft with it, and they gave me so much crap. But dang well, they were like this.
So, Cory, is this your software? I thought we were using your software this year.
No, so and to keep the costs down, we were hosting it on Full-Time Fantasy, which is what this is, which is, I guess, Fanstar as well. No, the software we have is probably going to roll out next year.
Got it.
Well, like the only thing out there for dynasty leagues is like MFL, right? So if MFL had a big competitor, and at a better cost. Let's be honest, everybody will go where the better cost is when you're looking for a fantasy league. If it has the same features, or if you're able to beat MFL, you'll own it. Period.
I never heard of MFL.
As a guy
Let
who's
me check that out.
with MFL so many years.
MFL? What does that stand for?
My
My
fantasy,
fantasy league?
It's the big dynasty one that we've used for so many years. Like, in the one that I was using it's the one we always use, and it's just great features. It's clunky, but it has everything you need.
Huh.
Yeah, it's showing he's on.
Is it as smooth as like Yahoo and CBS? Even though I hate CBS.
I would say it's actually very smooth. MFL is worth all the money it is worth. Like, it's a good quality. It has all the details, all the stats, all the. I mean, it allows you, as when you roll over the season, it does all the work for you. So it's very good. It's just clunky in its look. It doesn't look the best, right? Like, some of them make it look better because, appealing. It just doesn't look the best. Maybe they've changed it. I've been off of it for 2 years.
Yeah, never heard of it, but I'm gonna look at it. Unless Fantasy Turf Wars is nicer. I gotta wait until next year.
Yeah.
Cory, one of the things we could probably do to speed this up is, since we don't technically have a timer, what's a typical timer? 5 minutes usually? If after 5 minutes, just auto pick for them.
Yeah.
And put that in the chat so
I won't
everyone's
even
aware of it.
I wouldn't even need to say you need 5 minutes, probably 3.
Yeah.
Well,
if they're
3, whatever you want to set on. Yeah, to help speed this up, given that we've got the 17 rounds.
We're in round 3.
I'm a more of a 30-second kind of guy.
Yeah, get your pick. Let's go. If they don't take it right before, you know who you're taking. I like the first couple rounds, where there's some intrigue. But as we're going, we're just like, yep, grab your guy. My guy will be there. I'm taking the kicker after you take your scrub wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh boy, let's see. This is the slowest draft ever. Give them DJ Moore.
Wait, this is slow for you guys? That's funny. Every draft I've ever had, my friends would take 10, 15 minutes per pick. It was ridiculous. Oof. Now it was live, so it was a lot of drinking and carrying on.
Well, that's different.
Yeah,
that's part of
different.
The fun, though.
But yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly. So, and usually, like you said, as you got further along into round 8, round 9, round 10, the more drunk you got, the quicker it got, because people didn't care anymore. So, but yeah, I think 5 minutes or less. 3 minutes is fine.
I could use a drink.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I got some right here. This is all I got.
Yes, that works for us. Over the. There,
So
DJ
the way
Moore,
I did it, just to be fair about it, the way I did it is I went pick all positions, highest ADP, and then I just clicked the top name.
That works.
Yeah, that works.
So default.
Yeah, they ain't got no problem with that. Default, chalk, whatever.
Oh man. So Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I agree with
Flowers.
Screaming Pomeranian. Pomeranian.
Pomeranians.
Yeah, it shortens his name on the chat over here.
Oh yeah, Pomerani.
Pomerani.
Oh my.
I know Matt's on.
Yeah, because he just
It's
did
a
his
long
first.
season too, so there's some people who have injury questions here early. I just ain't worried about it. You know what I mean? Like you see Amari Cooper up there at the top. Someone passing on him because they think he's questionable for week 1. I don't know.
He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Where did my rankings go? Oh, wow.
Half of that
love
means
Matt.
that they're pulled for the preseason game and not playing. You know what I mean? So it's undisclosed.
Wow,
I'd
Matt,
much
that
rather
was a
not have my
that was a deep wide receiver pick.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
McLaurin. Vomit sauce.
I love the crap talk.
I mean, that was a
Well, no,
rough
you need
pick.
it in the game sometimes, though, guys. You need
Yeah.
some smack talk. It keeps people honest. It keeps them trying not to look foolish, you know?
Yeah.
Like drafting Aaron Hernandez 3 days.
I did name my team that once. Is hanging with Hernandez.
Oh, savagery. Oh. My running team name that I've been rolling with for the last couple years is Full Chub.
Nice.
I
Nice. Jeez.
like it.
All right, tomorrow. Okay.
All right, guys, come on.
Is it just me or did it get really quiet on here all of a sudden?
Yeah.
It's coming up to my pick. I'm pondering.
Yeah, the
Okay.
64 is coming in here.
Oh, he's finally going to show up in draft?
No, it's the person who's auto picking for him.
Oh. He's welcome for his first pick.
64. That's Floyd Beard. He's a Twitch streamer.
Awesome. He picked George Pickens. Good pick.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
love
not
that.
being here,
No.
Floyd. Can we have some people take quarterbacks anytime now?
Yeah, right.
Go. Get that run. I mean, but then again, though, you're getting like C.J. Stroud and stuff, though. So I'd rather have Mahomes than Stroud. But then again, watch Stroud light it up this year, and then, you know, hey, how they doing?
I think he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna light it up.
He's good. He's good. I mean, it's sad he's a Buckeye. I mean, that's a handicap in life.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Go Blue. It's all right that Harbaugh cheats. He ain't our coach anymore.
I'm sorry, I'm a Penn State fan, so.
Oh, you guys had Paterno, you know. I'll take my guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Paterno didn't do anything. It was really, what's his face?
Yeah, they did Paterno wrong, man. They did him cold.
Well, he's an idiot because he didn't say anything and he knew.
Yeah, get
So-
that. Like, dude. Yeah.
But he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't, because, you know, you fire the guy, but then, and you gotta get him in trouble. But at the same time, okay, you're getting sacked no matter what. It happened under your watch, and you're gonna
There
be the
goes another
scapegoat.
QB.
for college.
Yep, there goes Stroud.
Oh wow.
Someone's paying
Talk about
attention to the
steroids.
stream.
Yeah, hey, you know what? That's the point. You know what? I really, really like a run on kickers right now. We could get that happening.
Saying this point in the family draft, someone's picked a defense by now.
Uh-huh. And then the other person's like, oh, I need to get that D.
My family draft is serious, and they yell at me the whole time.
As they should.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my fault. I do this for a living.
Yeah. Leave some people for us. I used it as bribery. I was like, if you guys traded with me, I wouldn't have to take them all now. I was lazy. Oh, by the way, I will send you 47 trade offers by 2 p.m.
Oh, you're that guy, huh?
Dude, this is the thing. I'm sending offers to show you who I'm interested in. I'm old school, man. I'm not going to screw around. I like this guy. Here's 14 crappy players. Tell me who I need to send you. Right? Like, that's what it is. I'm going to send you 14 crappy players for your one good guy, and you're supposed to respond. This is who you want by sending for my best player. And then we screw around for a minute, and then we start the real trade negotiations, right? Like, that's how I've always worked every trade. You start showing who you have interest in. The trading block back in the day, man, it never really worked. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true.
No. You like a little
Did I run
foreplay. I
him off?
got
That
it.
guy's like, this guy talks too much. I'm out.
You like a little foreplay. You like to, get it warmed up, and then you like to slide it on in.
Because you never know when somebody sends a mistake. You know, like, hey, I want Bijan Robinson, but here's BJ Robinson. You know what I mean? You ever had that mistake? Or somebody
I've
sent you the
watched that
wrong
happen.
name? Steve Smith for Steve Smith back in the day? Oh, I'll take it. Oh, there was chaos in a league when Steve Smith got traded, and it was the wrong Steve Smith.
Oh,
As the commission, people are like calling you up. You wouldn't let that stand? I'm like, what? You guys can't read?
yeah, right.
You
Sounds like a
guys
huge
didn't
problem.
know NYG and CAR is different, you know?
All right, I'm gonna try something here so that everyone's aware. So there's an option to skip pick, and I'm wondering if
my
that's.
pick.
No, you're not Team 60. So there's an option to skip pick, and I'm wondering if that is what the auto pick is. I don't see why it would
Check
just
it
be
out and
blank,
see what happens.
but
Yeah.
it looks like I can also clear it if it doesn't do the right thing. So here goes. Nope. Yep, we're gonna undo that.
Just leave it. Just leave it.
No.
They're
Yeah,
lost.
Auto
bringing
pick.
Pomerani's like, let me have it.
Auto pick one, best available, like you said.
Yeah, let's have 3 Texans go in a row. Is that who's
Oh
on?
wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, let him take Murray. He needs a quarterback now. Oh, he took Diggs. Mixon. All right, I guess it's time for me to take a running back.
Oof, I was gonna snag. I didn't think he was gonna fall.
All right, so here's my reasoning, man. Who do they have to run the ball there in Arizona?
All right, hang on.
James Conner, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying is like he's out there and he gets touchdowns and I don't know. I think I got to go with him.
I would.
I was pondering. Somebody's, of course, yeah, get him out of here. Get him out of here. I don't want him. Let's see.
Looks like
I got
Justin
about
responded.
5 minutes left.
Yeah,
I
hey,
gotta hop out.
sounds good.
All right, yeah,
I'm
I'm
getting nasty text messages.
okay. I'm gonna take. Let me check one thing here, guys, and I'll be on it.
Murray? He wants Murray.
So you had originally picked 2 for him?
Stephon
You need to
Diggs.
go back.
Yeah,
So
he's
you're
asking.
pulling Diggs off.
Hang
You
on.
can go take Murray for him if you want. I'll let you fix all that out. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see.
I'll let you fix that.
There we go. Hey, at least he responded now and not like an hour from now. Hey, I just saw. Yeah, it couldn't be Mixon. Yeah.
Are we good?
Yep, all good.
Yep. All right. Checking one thing here, guys. I want to make sure I get a good pick, you know? Yeah, I'm going to go with Connor. Because why not?
Not
Running
bad.
back. I mean, when you're, you know. All right, there we go. All right, with that. Connor is picked. You know, the thing is, though, is they have no running backs in Arizona.
I like the backup.
Like
I
they
forgot
got
his
Trey
name.
Benson and Macardo, and we already saw these guys. DJ Dallas, we know what he is. Michael Carter, we already know what they are, so they're going to use him a ton. He really came
That's
on
a
at the end
deep-
of last year.
That's a deep QB pick right there. Kirk Cousins. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they must be a Washington fan.
Oof.
I love that.
Hey, they must have some extreme loyalty right there.
Yeah, I mean
Good
not
Lord.
Washington, Atlanta. Is this
Atlanta.
Lauren?
Is this Lauren's team? Yeah.
That makes more sense.
No, it's not. It's 46 is Andy Schiffer. He's a musician, songwriter.
Anybody ever won a title with Cousins?
Yeah.
No.
I have, and I walked in with the shirt at the draft that says "You like that" right on it. It was the year he had Jordan Reed, and he threw like 4 touchdowns to him in the one game. That was the year I won, dude. I was losing my mind at Christmas. I was going. People were like, "What's happening?" I'm like, "Kirk Cousins giving me a Christmas gift. Thanks, Jordan Reed." And that was like the year that he got like the concussion came back and lit it up. Random players doing random things. You know what I mean? Jordan Reed helping win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm talking about. It's like you think Jordan Reed, right? Almost through 4 rounds.
Almost.
All right, I'm gonna make a crazy pick here. I think.
Uh-oh.
Let's see it.
Going for a kicker.
Some fun.
We got our first kicker.
Kicker round 4, guys. No. I just.
Dude, Bucker. That's a good pick.
Yep. Chris Godwin.
There it is.
Or Godwin. Does he kick?
Does he kick? All right. This pick is gonna be
1,000 yards last year. Hard to argue with.
All right. I can't.
How many
I can't see this
touchdowns,
board
though?
that great, but I'm gonna
That's a good
say
pick.
Malik Neighbors.
Is that a receiver?
Take him.
He's gonna be great this year because it's volume to death. When he gets 170 targets, because that's all Daniel Jones can throw to, you just got to come down with 90.
He'll come down with 43.
Oh no, he's too good to be that bad. This ain't even a homer pick. This is straight up talent.
How do you spell it?
I got you. So it is.
N-A-B-E-R-S.
I'm not like I could do this off the cuff, but so it's Nabers.
Who is it again?
ADP should be high.
He's
Malik
already
Neighbors?
gone, somebody says.
Yeah,
What?
someone's picked it.
Somebody
Someone in the chat said he's already picked.
Yep.
Okay,
it was
well-
gone in the second.
Oh wow, that's
He went in
fine.
the second round. Did we miss this somehow?
I would have.
Who was it
I
again?
would have raw
Who was it
dogged
again?
them, but all right.
Who?
Did he go in the second round?
He did. He
Who
was
took-
it was Carswell.
Wow. All right, my guy. My
All right.
guy. I'm not trying to hate. That's way too early.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I wish
I-
could actually see the whole board, but it's fine. We are gonna go with
That's pretty much the whole board.
Yeah,
T.
that's
Higgins.
back when
No,
we were
yeah, but
talking
from
about before
my
the-
view, it's not great because I'm not in there.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's hard to see when you're on the YouTube screen, but if you're in the draft, it's easier to see. But that's back when we were talking about Laporta right before he went. It was Rashad White, Neighbors, and then Walker. So he snuck in there
my
really
God,
quick
I
right
missed
after London.
All right, gentlemen. Good luck with your draft. This is gonna be fun. I have one more pick for Team 34. I'll text it to you if he's still there, Corey. Pick him.
Okay.
And then this guy's on his own.
All right,
Good
sounds
luck,
good.
guys. Peace.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for screwing me on
All right, man.
Josh
Thank you.
Jacobs, probably.
No problem.
Taking James Cook there. started the downfall of my team, I tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good picks on here, right? There's some good picks. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see a
and
lot
there's
of
still plenty of talent to go around too.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth out there. And that's why I'm saying it's like when you reach for players, like you got to make sure you're reaching for somebody like, I don't know. Everybody has their choices. Everybody has their way of looking at strategy on the team, but that first round pick, those first 2 round picks, man, especially the first, but especially in the second, you got to have anchors. That's why I don't see a problem taking like Allen. I don't have a problem taking him there at the turn. You need a stud quarterback. I mean, do you really want to be like all the quarterbacks up there right now, with the exception of maybe Cousins, who still is pretty darn good, are going to put up numbers, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's for sure.
you had some depth there, but those first 4 quarterbacks taken are MVP quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So Mahomes has the capability of throwing 55 touchdowns. We've seen it. We know Lamar Jackson can run for 15 touchdowns a year. We've seen it. Same with Hurts and Allen.
Yep.
But man, after that, it's always a coin flip when you don't get those top tier quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah, you have to start making some assumptions.
Yeah. Like Burrow could still be that stud quarterback from a few years ago, or he could be the quarterback from last year.
Yep.
I'm a little
We
more
might be looking
confident
at the
Mahomes.
Cincinnati backup pretty seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyler Murray was actually a good pick at that spot right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping he's got a good year. I talked him up on the show a little bit. Now I'm hoping I don't sound like an idiot.
Last place winner going back to back. Jordan Love. See, I don't want to be starting Jordan Love. Regardless of what it is, I'm a Lions fan, so I don't want to start Jordan Love. He came on strong last year, didn't that kid? Man, he played well at the end. He beat the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Trust me, I remember that dinner.
So being from Chicago, I'm
never
going to run a quarterback.
You got Packers fans or Chicago fans, in your family if you're a Lions fan, or in any sport, right? You got family who's a fan of the other side. It's sometimes rough dinners.
Yeah. So he's diversified pretty well, though. He's picked up a running back, tight end, receiver, quarterback, so I wonder what he's going to balance it with.
This is typically where a draft turns, right? Like where a team really starts making different picks if they get their base down, right? Like he has Love, Evans, Porta, McCaffrey, and then went with White.
Okay.
Don't know if that's the best option, but he's got his upside there.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, he's kind of got his anchors in each position now, to where he's starting to diversify a bit. Okay, Prescott's going. That's not bad.
I love him, dude. Just love him.
I just picked up. I'd say you got Prescott and Lamb, so you're really banking on the Cowboys this year. So that's Desmond, which he is a Cowboys fan, so I guess it makes sense. But I'm not a fan of having the quarterback and receiver. Yeah, it's just too much. It's like if they have a bad week, it's a really bad week for you.
Yeah, you're right. I like it at the tight end because I had Mahomes and Kelsey in a lot of leagues last year. I came out of that draft, thinking I was something special. You know what I mean? I had Kelsey and Mahomes, first 2 picks. That didn't work out well. Still won the title, though.
Oh, 34.
See, a lot of people came after Kelsey early thinking he was going to blow up, but sometimes you just got to get rid of that star player. So I ended up getting Hawkinson and I think a Waddle or something too. So I had those 2 players for Kelsey, and then that just took off. And then I traded Hawk for Laporta. And then so I ended up with a lot of value out of that. I ended up with Laporta just for a trade out of Kelsey and extra value. So trade the name sometimes. The name has its value.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to win championships, not like a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially in something like this, like you've got to clear the top 2 teams of the division. Like it's decisions are going to have to be made at some point on supporting a guy or supporting the numbers.
What pick overall is this? Where do you guys see that?
We're in round 5.
Oh, number 69. Yeah,
Yeah, this is 69.
gotcha.
Yeah, 69.
All right, I'm taking Christian Kirk.
Okay.
He's got to be the number 1 receiver over there. That's kind of my thought process. What didn't they just trade for or picked up Gabe Davis?
I'd have to check that one.
Yeah. Yeah. They had an off year, man. They had a hard time finishing and kind of bringing a good season together that everyone thought Jacksonville probably should have had, but I haven't completely given up on them. I like Etienne a lot. I mean, I wouldn't like him on my team just kind of as a player, though, and the grit that he runs with, I like him a lot. And then you get
I do.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence scares me, though. I think Trevor Lawrence wants to be a hero. That's just
Yeah,
my take
for
on
sure.
him, and that worries me. Like, he won't put the ball in the running back's hands when he needs to. He wants to be a hero, and that always worries me in fantasy. Look at what we look at.
Yeah. 46. Andy.
But I mean,
Uh-oh,
Detroit.
there we go.
There's a big upside there.
Defense
Oh,
is off the
wow.
board.
Bold move. I love that.
Makes you wonder if the run starts then.
Are you serious?
This would be early.
Y'all are gonna let that slide and just act like that's normal. Y'all are cool with that.
I
No,
love
I
it.
mean,
Act like someone taking the defense in the 5th round is legit.
Yikes.
Come on, hey, bro. I'm gonna say it. Team 46. I hope you have a learning experience. Because, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, you have no chance to win. Team 40. Before I take my pick, you have no chance to win this because you're playing with big boys. If you're taking I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and.
No, you've got a good point though, right? Like, 'cause there's no give, there's no wiggle room for mistakes, and I think taking a defense this early is probably a very not wise choice. I would not do that on my own.
I don't want to insult the guy or the gal because they may be new. That's why I said I hope this is a learning experience because you're playing with big boys now. Because I mean, I've been playing 30 years. I've won some big time leagues and stuff like that, and I'm not trying to ridicule, but if you have big money leagues that you are doing before, do not take a defense until the last round. Stream them. If you're not getting Baltimore, stream them because you need to play the matchups. Because there are weeks you will take a defense and they will get you negative points no matter what, right? Like they're playing, like you may take Baltimore. I'm going to set them on the bench because they're playing KC. Now, is that a smart move? I don't know. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take David Montgomery right here because he's a Lion and they're going to be running the ball. And here's my one thing I have on Jahmyr Gibbs. He may get hurt. The one thing I think about Jahmyr Gibbs, love him. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is an MVP type player. I think he's so valuable, but I also think David Montgomery showed last year he's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back to the defense, it is depending on your format, I guess. One of the strategies I have is to stock up on defenses just so that I can play the matchups, and I can always try and pick who I think is going to be, but I don't do that until the end just because, you know, if you're not getting a top tier, you're going to be playing the matchup anyway, so I can stream whoever I want. What would concern me on Team 46, he has yet to pick up any running backs, but, I mean, that is also a strategy, but I would diversify elsewhere before I went to your defense.
Yeah, that definitely, like, he could have took David. I mean, I'm not just saying
Yeah.
that, like, a David Montgomery would have been way more valuable to that team. I mean, there's players out there right now, like DeAndre Swift would have been more valuable to his team than the San Francisco 49ers, right? Now, maybe not in the points during the week, but the points that how it compares to his team, because who's he going to have at running back? Now, maybe he comes back and he can get a DeAndre Swift, and then, well, okay, still a bad pick because you could have took someone else other than him. Because San Fran would have been their next round or the following round. Sorry to rag on you there, Team 46.
Justin on Team 60 is all here for it. He said you guys got on him about Justin Jefferson, so let him have it on Team 46 for his defense pick. Which,
yeah, you know, I like talking trash, right? And I do my trash talking more on I'm going to win. I know a lot about this, right? We all do. We've been playing 30 years. I kind of default no, just kind of like, yeah, that's not going to work out. Like, there's exceptions and stuff, but there's just some things that you just know is not going to work out. Defense in the 5th, kicker in the 7th, not going to work out. You may get a good kicker, but it just does so much damage to your team elsewhere.
Yeah, so
ceiling. There's just an obvious ceiling.
Yeah, and looking at it, right, he's not going to have another pick for 20 more picks until he's up again. So even if he picked the Niners the next time he was up, he would be saying that the Niners were better than all 20 of those people that he missed out on because he picked them then.
Like, he would have picked the starter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a he or a she. I'm going to look into this.
It's a
I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm referring to the person correctly. You know what I mean? Because I
gotcha. And I don't know if they've. I'd have to go look at my notes to see if they've ever played before, but still, and you know, all this,
right,
we could also be. We could also all be eating our words at the end of the season. You never know.
No, we aren't. We're not going to eat on the defense that early. It just ain't going to happen. You know, I mean, I'm just being honest. Defense is still good. I mean, I'm a Lions fan. I saw what San Francisco did to us last year in the NFC Championship. But this is fantasy football. Points matter. And unless they're putting up 20 points every single week as a defense, when other teams that I could pick up right now that aren't going to be drafted will get me 15 points somewhere. You know?
Yep. I'm going to pull up some stats to see if I can back it with some numbers here.
Like, there's still so much value out there still for guys like us who didn't take running backs. I'm like, maybe that is the right way to go. So there's still good running backs out there. And I believe, like, and I have for many years, and it's kind of worked out, running backs get hurt more than anyone.
Yeah, that is true.
So, I mean, like, Devin Singletary, he's out there. Who's going to get hurt? Like, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. If you end up with both of them, you're ending up with a starter somewhere, right? So it's like there's potential there. And you know Harbaugh, come on, man. You know Harbaugh runs the ball, right?
Yeah.
So there's still potential. Oh, yeah, come on, man. Edwards and Corum last year, that was great to watch as a Michigan Wolverines fan. Great to watch last year. Seriously, being a Michigan guy and having the Lions and then the Wolverines do what they did last year, after all the crappy football we've had, it was like we were on cloud 9 and then we won the championship. So it's damn Lions, though, dude. That, like, all of us people here in Detroit, we talk about it. Like, well, when did we know we lost? When Ayuk made that catch off the helmet.
Yeah.
We knew we lost that.
Yeah. I think the whole country was pulling for him, though.
Yeah. The Aaron Jones pick, phenomenal. I had him ready to go right there at David Montgomery, but I like David Montgomery a little more. Aaron Jones, I mean, yeah, sure, the quarterback situation, but he's a stud. He's going to catch 45 balls. He's going to get his share.
He's going to put
get
up
some
numbers.
touchdowns. Yeah. And this projection they have him on is so stupid, they should be ashamed.
Yeah, I am curious where these projections come in because it's not matching Fantasy Pros. It's not matching NFL, Yahoo. Like, it's matching nothing. So I'm wondering where it comes from.
So yeah, this ADP and stuff, like, I mean, for the drafts, yeah, let them have that for the people who aren't here. But yeah, there's like, wow.
So was there any question for you guys that Christian McCaffrey was 1-1?
No, I think you have to go him because he's Christian McCaffrey and he proves it over and over again that if he's healthy, he's a stud. And you can't predict injuries, but like I always said, running backs will get hurt. But they're also, when you get a guy who's going to get 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing, who else are you going to take?
Right.
See, the simple thing that I always learn is you got to minimize risk. You need to take a risk, but you need to minimize it. You can't take neighbors in round 2. You can't take a San Francisco 49ers defense in round 5. And with all due respect, you can't take a Marvin Harrison just because the ADP says so that early in round 1. With, I can name a million people, not a million, but I'll tell you right now, Garrett Wilson will put up way better numbers than Marvin Harrison will. He has Aaron Rodgers throwing to him. I just trust that Garrett Wilson's going to get the ball.
Right.
Puka Nacua, I'm not sure about. That Cooper Kupp pick is criminal in the 3rd round. What are we doing? Right? Like, if he was coming, I mean, I'm drooling over here for Josh Jacobs or Kupp, right? To fall where Waddle was. So those two are criminal. The guy who got, like, the 49ers pick got Kupp. So he could have value there, but still, 49ers, you got to capitalize on that value of getting a Kupp by making sure you get a Keenan Allen, or Aaron Jones would have even been better than Doug Montgomery or David Montgomery. Why did I say Doug Montgomery? Old boss of mine. Keenan, all those good players right there. There's Raheem Mostert, man. How many touchdowns did he get last year? Is he going to get substantially less? Yes. But what if he gets half? That's still 15.
Right.
That's 6 points every time. Bam. 60 yards. Give it to me.
100%.
Sorry I talk. I just natural instinct on the radio of filling the air that you don't hear anything.
All good.
Yeah.
And so we have other
media guy.
the other teams are able to join too. I put the link in the league chat, so if someone wants to pop in, they can. Or if they need the link, I can send it again. But
this is pretty cool, dude. I like the fact that we're able to get on here and chit chat, do some football drafting.
yeah, there's some upgrades I would, trying to take like mental notes of things I would do differently, and there's some upgrades we could make to the actual board itself. I've seen some digital boards that we could use, but
the swiftness would be a little preferred, if you would.
yeah, I fired off a message to the tech team about the auto pick thing just to see if there was a way to default it, because I can't find it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And I know Teamer is on. He picked his own. Team 21 picked their own last round, so I know they're here. It's showing them online. There you go.
Yeah.
There he is. So
That Kittle pick, good pick. He was the 9th ranked tight end, guys. How's that even possible?
Let's see. Now it's time to make some decisions, I
Yep.
think.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Oh, someone's calling in. One second. I got you here. Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Hey, doing well. How about you all? High School Musical is done playing in my house, so didn't think we needed to add that to the stream.
You never know.
What are you talking about? We all need some dancing and singing in our life.
You know, of all the things my kids could listen to, there's worse things.
That's for sure.
They could have listened to The Vibe, my radio station. You know. Shameless plug again. Hey,
I hear it. Well, I mean, I love, you know, so I grew up in Flint, Michigan.
Hey.
Now
WCK or CK 105.5, right? You listen to that?
You betcha. Yeah,
Right.
well, absolutely. I listened to CK 105.5 growing up.
Yeah.
However, my family is from Wisconsin, so I grew up a Packers fan.
Well, it was nice having you on the stream.
I say
Jeez,
I'm the
Matt.
definition of a spoiled sports fan, because in my life I've gone from Favre to Rodgers, and I mean obviously Love only has 1 year, but still was very positive. So I'm the most privileged sports fan in the world.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, think about that, though. Favre, then Rodgers. And Love looks pretty dang good, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
you never know within the year, but I don't think he's going to be a dud. Like that's what you just don't want. You don't want your team to draft a quarterback that is Sam Darnold, or you know, where you're just like we flat out wasted that pick. If last year was the only thing we got out of Love, where we get to just beat the Cowboys to a pulp in the playoffs, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good thing was the Lions beat you to a pulp in the playoffs.
Yeah. Don't talk to me about the Packers' recent playoff things. There's a lot of trauma there.
Hey, at least you guys don't have McCarthy anymore. He's Dallas's problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
There
think
are
McCarthy
worse
was good in the early 2010s, but just didn't adapt to what, you know, the league was going to. And then of course, you know, when Rodgers isn't happy with you, you know, it doesn't matter what team it is. When your quarterback and head coach aren't on the same page, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, how's your draft going for you?
So I actually, this was kind of the strategy that I came in with, because of course I'm pick 16. You see your pick 16 in a 16-team draft, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, what am I going to do? And so kind of my thought process at the back half of the first round is I got to get a running back.
Okay.
Because running back is usually pretty shallow. I want to make sure that I have a running back, and in a half-point PPR league, ETN does catch some passes. And then kind of my Josh Allen pick was, okay, if I need to be elite at something. And so Josh Allen has been a top 5 fantasy QB, you know, the past 3-4 years. So safe to say, barring injury, you know, I'm going to get a top 5 fantasy QB. So, and you know, I kind of, you know, came back on wide receivers of like, okay, I'm not going to have an elite wide receiver, but there's tons of receivers, but also, I mean, we forget that the team that we draft is not our final team. Puka Nacua was on nobody's team and draft time. And then all of a sudden now he was the, you know, fantasy stud. And so that's some of it where, you know, it's also remembering like, okay, you know, I just kind of have to, you know, you've been talking about on the stream, I've been listening in as I've been drafting, and it's all about kind of picking the value. It's okay, what's a good value pick here? And even in certain cases, okay, who can I draft? What can I get that maybe, okay, I'm not in love with, but maybe someone else is, and like mid-season I can swing a trade. You know,
well, you can always
want to
trade
stay
if
away
I'm
from
in
the
the
dumb
league.
pick. just don't do something dumb. That's my that's my
Yeah.
biggest like.
Like drafting a defense team in the 5th round.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell you
this
right
guy's
now,
not living that
my
down,
last
is he?
my last 2 picks are going to be defense and then kicker. That's what that
Yeah.
I could have told you that 3 weeks ago.
I ain't even gonna draft a kicker if the rules don't make me.
It does not make you.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I'm not even gonna take one. I'll pick him up before week 1.
Yeah, so you'll need to make, obviously you'll have to pick one up before
Yeah.
the 5th, but yeah, it does not make you pick one.
Okay,
See,
then
so there
maybe
you
my
go.
last.
This
I
guy's
was saying
probably gonna
maybe my
draft
last pick
4.
will not be a kicker.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, why? Right? Like, they're so, like, you may get a good one, but I don't even play in leagues that you have kickers. They don't even have them in daily for a reason. They're so sporadic. They're like, how many times do you lose by 1 point because your kicker missed 2 field goals that no kicker should miss?
Well, and you're also trying to predict, okay, whose offense is going to be good enough to get into field goal range, but not good enough. And every
Not
time
good
you
enough
try
to
to
actually
assume
score.
that, it's just not going to work. And I mean, how many we've all been on the either receiving end or the giving end of like, the kicker, like the final score is 19-16, and the one kicker kicked 7 field goals. I know the math does not add up on this example that I'm giving, but just moving past. But you're
No,
just
your
like, oh,
point
that
made.
kicker scored 30 some odd points.
You can't win that week. You know what I mean? You can't win that week,
Yeah,
no matter what you
I mean,
do.
it just is what it is. My greatest fantasy moment was I had Alvin Kamara on that 6 touchdown game, and that's the greatest moment in the world.
The red and green shoes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was great.
Okay, I
He
gotta
won a
figure out
lot
what
of
I'm doing
titles.
at the turn here.
I
Say
had
again?
Jamal Charles that year. He went for 5.
Oh yeah, like it just, and then of course on the receiving end of that, on the other end, you're like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing you can do. Just, someone has
That
a
was the
career
year
day, and it just.
Charles got 3 in the first quarter. You guys remember that game? If you played against Charles, your
Yeah.
heart was broken. It was in the playoffs or the Super Bowl. He got 3 in the first quarter, and they were 2 long ones, 2 like 80-yard touchdowns.
Yeah.
Eric, you're up.
What do you do? How do you win?
I
And
will
a
say
guy-
the one thing that I did like about having the last pick is I love back-to-back picks. It's really nice.
Long bathroom break.
I mean, you got the long bathroom break, but a little bit time in between. But it really does. The challenging part of it is it's like, okay, I have to do a little bit of reaching sometimes because I gotta wait 30 some odd picks. I mean, if I'm deciding between a group of 15 players, those players aren't going to be there.
Yep.
Yeah. Now this guy went with Eckler. That's a good pick. This guy has been
no.
number.
Okay,
You
I
don't like
cannot
it?
get the image out of my head of, I know he was injured, I know all this other stuff, but I cannot get the picture of the Packers game where he is running with no one in front of him, and it looks like he's running in slow motion as the defender gets him from behind. I can't get that image out of my head.
Yeah. He isn't the fastest guy in the world, is he? But he has a nose for the end.
Well, what? He was
Right.
number 1 fantasy running back 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Like not that long ago.
Yeah, he was someone I was eyeing for a little while there. I know that he'll be splitting the backfield a little bit, and Robinson, they really did like him last year. They seemed to go to him, but that whole team looks new, and it's not like they're not going to play Austin Eckler. So,
Right.
The biggest worry that I would have is if Jaden Daniels is it's not there, I'm running. And that would be, it's going to be great for whoever has Jaden Daniels, who I was, had I not gotten a top quarterback, I was probably going to look at Jaden Daniels because I guess I shouldn't say this while he's still on the board. But he could have a Justin Fields type fantasy season where not good on like from a record winning game standpoint, but that 1 year ran for 1,100 yards was like the QB5. So, there's a chance that the Commanders are terrible, but Jaden Daniels still puts up, I don't know, huge numbers. So again, I probably shouldn't be saying this with him still on the board. Don't pick, terrible pick Jaden Daniels. Don't pick him. Terrible
I like
idea.
Watson too, though.
Yeah.
pick that just came
Yeah.
off the board, Watson.
Watson just came.
Let me ask you a
Fast,
question
lot of
at the
boom
turn.
percentage.
Let me ask you a question at the turn on 16. Do you think you waited too long on a tight end, or is there someone out there for you?
I mean, I kind of knew, like, kind of always my draft strategy says I kind of just sacrifice one of the positions to try to boost something up. But I mean, there's still some there's still a couple guys that I could that aren't terrible. Hey. I don't like Ninjoku. I don't like Ninjoku.
Yeah.
I
Bowers
think
is
that
like a liability in Las Vegas. Jesus, I had to go through the whole ring.
And running backs are always, or sorry, rookies, not running backs. Rookies are always like, you have no idea. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So, you know, I mean, I'm kind of just banking on, like, okay, I mean, Chigakonku I like. Maybe I'd take an Isaiah Likely late. Mark Andrews has been prone to injury. Likely is, I think, a solid. You know, they seem to like him.
I mean,
we've got.
will even get back soon. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
if you're
like,
waiting, you know, like
yeah,
he
like,
may
I don't think
you may need to stream for the first few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I don't hate, like, Gesicki in the Bengals offense.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not, like, loving this, but, you know, I don't think that's a pick that I would feel horrible about. I definitely realize that my tight end room is going to make me go, ugh. But just where things have fallen, I'm like, okay, do I take this tight end or do I, like, build, especially because I got to start how many wide receivers. Running backs often get injured. I'd rather build the depth there than do a tight end. So now I'm gonna hate myself the entire year when I'm like, okay, what tight end do I try to get? But I could look at some Packers tight ends too. But my struggle with the Packers offense is there's just so many people, and so, you know, one day it's going to be this person, and 1 week it's going to be this person, and trying to predict when that is going to be, good luck. So I'll probably be looking, again, probably shouldn't be talking about draft strategy while the draft is still going on, but again, I don't care. Probably looking to build wide receiver depth.
It's not a big money league, you know, so it's okay to talk it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's basically a free league where we're trying to discuss sports anyways. Like I like leagues where there's not a lot on the line, but people are discussing their strategies, so you can kind of see how it weighs against the other team.
Yeah, so I'll probably look, because I took double running backs, took Swift and Mostert. I mean, obviously, I'm not counting on Mostert having the year that he had of last year, but you know, he's my RB3 right now. If he's my RB1, I would be a little bit nervous. But as my third running back, great. You know, especially if H.A.N. gets hurt, which is a strong likelihood just given his body type and just injury history, I suppose. And then I also, you know, you guys were talking about DeAndre Swift, and the whole time I'm like, yeah, okay, nobody take him, because I agree with this. I agree with this take. And now the issue with that is I do now have to cheer for the Bears in some capacity, but, you know, it's okay.
It's all right. We always have to cheer for do you really cheer for the Bears, or you just cheer for them to say, yeah, give it to Swift, give it to Swift, give it to Swift?
Yeah,
right?
I mean, really, like, that's the idea. Like just I don't care. The Bears can lose as long as DeAndre Swift has, which I'm actually surprised that he's not ranked higher. Like, I get it, like, you know, Caleb Williams is going to be more of the focal point, and that you've got all these wide receivers, but Swift has been a good back in this league. Well, guess I'm not taking Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I don't think that would have been a good. It's his backup, right? He's taking it as a shot here. You know, like he only has H-Hand though. Like, what are you doing, man? H-Hand didn't last the season last year. He's getting hurt every other week, right? Like,
there goes Daniels.
There's Jaden Daniels. I think that has the potential to be the steal of the draft. Like, that has the potential in round 7. that Jaden Daniels has a real potential to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. And if you can get a top 5 player in the 7th round, that's huge.
That's a big statement, man, because there's already superstar quarterbacks in this league. You know what I mean? I'm just
there
saying.
are, but all it takes is, one injury and a couple things to go right or wrong. And all I have to know is if Justin Fields can be a top 5 fantasy quarterback, you can too.
Yeah, I mean, not bad. Not bad for 15th quarterback off the board.
Exactly. And that's really the thing in these mid rounds and even the later rounds. Like, I'm not going to blast somebody for their round 13 pick. Like, it's the same thing with like the NFL draft when people get in their 7th round picks and people are like, oh, I'm like, it's the 7th round. Take whoever you want. There's no way to be like, oh, this is a bad pick.
Well, the ironic thing is in the 7th round of fantasy leagues, though, that's still kind of meat and potatoes of your starting lineup.
Yeah.
Like, you're still finding, like, starting lineup guys. So, if, like, you're starting to run that, like, Bowers there, you're picking up a flex, man. He's going to be your flex, right? Like, you're going to have to start him maybe, unless your pick is because you don't even have your second running back there.
And listen, maybe we're wrong. Maybe Bowers is like the focal point of that offense, and he gets in a great rhythm with Aiden O'Connell. It's more of like you've talked about it, that balancing risk and reward. Like, am I willing to take the risk on a Brock Bowers being the next great tight end when the history of rookie tight ends, besides what last year? I know last year was an anomaly. The history tells you that most rookie tight ends will get somewhere between 400 and 500 yards, and a couple touchdowns, and that's it. That's the history of the league. I mean, again, what Sam Laporta did, and some of these other rookie tight ends have done in the past couple years. Maybe that trend is changing, but I'm gonna go with what NFL history tells me.
Right. NFL history tells me third-year receivers blow up. And this pick right here, I'm telling you right now, is the steal of the draft. I tried to keep it quiet. I took Amon-Ra St. Brown because I needed a Lions receiver. Jameson Williams, ladies and gentlemen, is going to erupt that I'm going to trade Amon-Ra St. Brown during the season. And this guy right here, if you live in Detroit or you're a Detroit fan, you already know what's in store. So the fact that the Detroit Lions are so gigantic right now with their offense and everybody who touches the ball there explodes. Jameson Williams, I love him.
Okay.
He's in my queue. I probably was going to grab him on the turn because I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. I think that he is prime, especially now with Josh Reynolds out of there. 100% with you.
People were starting Chark. Remember DJ Chark? They were starting him. They were starting Josh Reynolds. I started him in a game last year. The number 2 in Detroit always gets picked up and started. Tate. They always get Jameson Williams. This time he's just a fast guy. He had the injury or the suspension and then the injury the year before. So now he gets his full year. He had a full camp. He's ready.
It's his first normal year. Like that's I think what people don't understand. So I was going to pick him up on the turn here. I mean, I've got plenty of other wide receivers here that I'm looking at, but yeah, I love the pick. Trying to see, at this point with tight end, why reach when I can just get a terrible tight end? They're all terrible.
Anyway,
so.
Yeah, now you just wait. It's
gonna be terrible now and terrible later. So and I've had that happen in many drafts with tight ends where I'm just like, I could take this terrible tight end or see, and then this stuff happening. So it's like, so am I really gonna take so in round 7? Let's see, who are my options? Who could I take? Come on, you.
I think Hawkinson's still on the board at that point.
Hawkinson's a steal if you're taking it here because you're going to take a scrub anyway. So you got Hawkinson, we'll be back by week 6, right? Week 6, he's sitting on the PUP. You just waste a roster spot, but you're getting a stud tight end for the second half of the season. Carry a scrub, cut him, and then you're back. Or carry a scrub who comes up to blows up, trade him for somebody you need, and then they have Hawkinson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's on the block right now, guys. I wasn't anticipating getting Jameson Williams and all of them. I I mean, I don't know. We all watch the football shows. I mean, I swear to God, you tell me right now, you think Jamison Williams in a 16-man league should have went right there? I mean, if you guys think so, based off, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, based off everything I've seen in camp, no. Not. I'll tell you right now, he'll do better than Neighbors. Want to put money on it?
Neighbors is going to have the volume. That's what's going to help Neighbors. Is, you know, because Jamison will have to compete the target share with a two-headed running back room plus Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Whereas
Goff's going to hit him on 4 times this year on deep 60-yard bombs. You know what I mean? So I that's the point. It's like Jamison Williams has the explosive factor we've seen from the counter last year, in the playoffs even. During the playoffs last year, he showed what he is about to do. So I mean, Neighbors with the volume, but volume don't win championships. I do say opportunities do, but the opportunities at explosive plays, the opportunities at touchdowns, the opportunity at actually making plays. And I don't think Neighbors will do that. He has Daniel Jones. We've seen it. It's rinse, wash, repeat. To expect something different from Daniel Jones is almost a litmus test upon yourself of showing you don't learn. No offense to you, but like I understand like we've seen Daniel Jones, right? Like they're all wild passes. They're all insane passes. So I hope Neighbors can come down with some of them. You know what I mean? Dude, who's going to be the team this year that has those 2 receivers that blow up, right? Like you always have the 2 receiver. Like, oh my God, they're both insane. Is it going to be like maybe Miami again? Does Dallas do something?
Miami was on my list.
There's like maybe Chicago if the Rook could go ahead.
I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah.
Keenan Allen is a stud, guys. Like he's just gonna catch balls and make plays. So he's gonna make something out of nothing. Same with Moore. We see those passes where he could just scoot down the sideline. So get the ball in those 2 guys' hands if he's able. I mean, does Williams? I don't know. Williams scares me a little bit because I think he's gonna do what all rookies do who have those legs, and like you say with Jaden, just run the ball, tuck it, and run.
I worry. The Chicago offensive line worries me. That's what worries me about. If I was a Chicago Bears fan, that's what would concern me. I actually like the control. I guess the other thing would worry about me would be their head coach, but that's neither here nor there. But that's the question of like, there's no doubt that Caleb Williams and their receiver room and their skill positions are great. But I mean, you even saw it in the preseason game yesterday where it just is, I mean, there's pressure right up the gut, and it doesn't matter how amazing your quarterback is. You can have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, and if your offensive line can't block anyone, I mean, your best case scenario is that year of when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. And I mean, that wasn't the like cookie cutter, like, hey, this is how we should build a championship team. Like that offensive line is going to be concerning.
Yeah. You know, the Chicago Bears are still that team that has a long way to go. Even though they got a rookie quarterback, they still got a long way to go.
They're always the team that's got a long way to go.
Who's the Bears fan that said that? You know, the Bears, though, they always get good players, though, in certain areas.
Yeah.
Like, they get good defensive players. They got DJ Moore. They get Keenan Allen. They had Forte. But it's just like they don't
Matt
bring
Forte.
it all together. You won me a title, man. See? He's gold, dude. And he was one of those players that just came out of nowhere, right? Like, he was, a third-round pick, second-round pick, late-round, second-round pick. And then, who was the running back? Cedric Benson.
That's right.
I remember Cedric Benson, who most recently died in a motorcycle accident, but he took Cedric Benson's spot, made him go to Cincinnati.
All righty. Okay, I'm coming. I got to pay attention. What am I doing here? What's my strategy?
Listen, fellas, I got to hop off here, but thanks a lot and good luck,
Yeah. Thanks for joining in the stream, and best of luck to you on the rest of the draft and in the season.
May you win every game that you don't play against me.
Yeah.
That's right. Do my best.
That's
Work on
my
some
hope.
depth here to
That's
finish
my
this
hope
thing
for the
up, and I'll
Lions
see you
every
guys.
year. It's like go 14-2 and lose in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, there you go. To the Packers, right?
So draft wise in general, I think we're doing okay. I mean, it's going a little bit slow. This is about where it starts to slow down, but we're about a minute per pick, which is good, not great, but it does take a little while to get through 17 rounds and 16 teams. So we'll get there.
This is where like I've got my picks. I'm ready. Like I know who I'm picking up. Like I've been preparing for the last 15 minutes.
You're at the point where you just hope they come to you.
Yeah.
You know, you're just at the point where
I
you
want
hope
them
they
to
fall.
come to me. All right. I also think it's interesting of like, you know, who are the players and teams that there's clearly no love for, and one of them is the Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
They're terrible.
Oh,
They're terrible.
I mean, with good reason. Like, let's be honest, with good reason. They're terrible.
Like Tomlin needed to get rid of that offensive coordinator before last year.
Yeah.
And then he just that was.
But it's
that was a
Arthur Smith
coaching
now.
failure.
Arthur Smith.
Great. I can't wait to see him screw up the running back situation.
Which is why no one's picking Jalen Warren.
Yeah.
At some point, it'll get to a point where I'm like, okay.
You know, they're. I got my move ready to go. I've been waiting on it. Dude, see, this is the thing. You get 16 teams in a league, and you get your moves. Like, you start to strategize, right?
Yeah.
And there's some moves I'm like, I'm not even tipping because I hope I get that move still. There's some I'm talking. Like, I was kind of hoping to get Josh Jacobs earlier. I was not mentioning Jamison Williams at all. At all. Like, I mean, that's like one of my biggest sleepers in every draft. Some leagues, do you ever get that player you want in all leagues?
Oh yeah.
Like, who's yours this year?
Oh gosh, that's a good. I might pick him here. So you're about to see.
Okay. Well,
I doubt he'll be taken, but I'm going to contradict one of my points made earlier, but I don't care.
All right, I don't see him on.
Yeah, I don't see his. If the red dots are there, man, throw them out.
Yeah, he's been kind of hit or miss on the being on.
All right, guys.
All right.
I'm not leaving, but I am stepping away for a second. I will be back at the pace this is going. It'll be a second. I got to use the bathroom. I'm just letting you guys know. So I will be back.
All right. I'm taking you guys' advice and go T.J. Hawkinson here.
All right.
I think, and then this is the guy I want on all my leagues.
Good pick.
It's a homer pick, and I do not care. I think that Dontavian Wicks is going to be a player this year that is. I'm not going to say he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver, but I think he's going to massively outperform his ADP. I think Watson and Reed, and I know there's so many weapons, and I know it's impossible, but man, I really liked what I saw out of Wicks last season, and it's been carrying over in the preseason. So I'm gonna let it ride. And the other thing here is the other picks that I have kind of lined up. I'm just not really that concerned about someone else grabbing them, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this is the biggest league I've ever done. I'm usually in like 12 or 14. And so like part of this challenge is just like, yeah, I am going to be playing some bottom of the barrel people.
Yeah.
And some of those moves are going to be the ones that win you the championship, or and I followed the sport even before I played fantasy football. I followed the sport pretty religiously.
Yeah, it is interesting because I usually only play 10 and 12 team leagues, so having a 16 team league it's a lot. You've got to pay attention to those fringe guys that you may never have considered before because they never made the cut, and that's probably
Yeah.
your difference maker.
But the thing with like 10 and 12 team is, yeah, you can make some picks, but ultimately, like, everyone's got a stud team. You're just
Yeah.
kind of playing the matchups. Whereas there really could be like, you drafted a better team because of XYZ. So
It's true.
I'm curious, kind of looking at the draft board here. It's interesting. It's interesting to me that running backs have kind of been not as popular here.
Yeah, I would have thought I went pretty heavy on running backs in the beginning, and 2 of the first 5 picks were running backs, and that's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see that kind of run such a, like, I mean, I'm looking at a Brian Robinson in the 7th round. I really like Brian Robinson, and even someone like Javonte Williams, and like there's some other. We're doing a fun music book in my house now. Fun. Hang on, I have a question for my offspring. All right, I just looked at the clock, and I need to feed my kids dinner. Being a great dad, so I'll still be on the draft, but I'm gonna hop off the stream. And but thanks for letting me come on and yak, because I love talking. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Sounds good. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see the end of the second half of this draft. So, alrighty. See you, gentlemen. Good luck.
Good luck to you. All right. That one.
You had to get out of here, that guy?
Yeah, he had to feed his kiddos.
Yeah. Been there.
But it is interesting looking at like this draft board versus some of the other ones you've seen over time, and usually someone making a decision out of the norm triggers something to happen, and it didn't happen for the running, or it didn't happen for the quarterbacks, and it didn't happen for the defenses, which is it's good to see. I mean, it just speaks to the level of competition in that people are aware enough to not kind of fall for it. But usually it's like someone says defense, everyone goes defense for a couple minutes.
I saw you guys were talking with Matt for a bit. Sorry, I was on the phone with someone.
All good.
Getting some strategic advice from somebody who's done more fantasy football than I ever have before. So,
All right.
I tried to get him to join the league, but he has 2 other leagues he tries to manage, so it's too difficult.
That's it.
Oh, two. I mean, especially when they're money leagues. One of them's a big money league.
All right.
Because the problem is when you got more than one league. I've tried it once with more than one league. When you got more than one league, then you're rooting kind of, especially if you don't have the same teams. You're rooting. You can end up rooting against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
That's tough.
Dude, there was a year I was in over 15 leagues. I forget. Some were survivors. I had 4 on Yahoo alone. But you're right.
Good Lord.
There's some leagues,
Good
like
Lord.
I was in a $5 league, and I'm like, why do I even care about this league? I have a big money league here. So there were some times like I just set my lineup, and you just set your lineup. You're not paying attention through the week because you got so many. So there are so many leagues you can get into too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say depending on what the big money league number is. But yeah, two is mediocre in my world. But for some people, like you say, who don't do it all the time, that could be a lot for them,
Yep. Yeah. So I do
start to pick up here, given that we're kind of in the later rounds.
Yeah, I'm hoping they start to. So I do 1 keeper league, 1 dynasty, one redraft, and then that's just the family leagues. And then depending on where everything goes, then I'll pick up more redraft leagues. But it's usually the only format I kind of pick up multiples in. Other than DFS, of course.
What's DFS? I'm sorry.
Daily fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like you're not like tied to the team all season. You're just kind of picking the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, 121st pick.
Oh,
And
shucks.
2 hours in, so we're about a minute a pick.
Oh, it's on me. I didn't even hear the. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Wow. What's that? You wanted me to auto draft for you? Okay.
Oh, well, right. No. I got this right here. All right. I think I got to take him. I'm homering it up today, guys.
Uh-oh.
Lake Coram, give them to me.
All right.
Love them. I'll take him early there. See, this is where you go when you take guys like that, right? Like he's the number 2 in LA.
Yeah.
He was on
I
he was on my watch list probably for next time around. So you got him. You got him get a good number.
And man, watching him, he'll score touchdowns. Y'all know, you saw it. You know, in regular leagues, I'm typically taking a quarterback in the first round because just the value of having a sure thing in the first round is so much more valuable to me.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Like in 6-point touchdown leagues, why does anyone ever not take a quarterback? People always yell, like, why are you taking a quarterback? Like, dude, you get 6 points. The guy throws 50 touchdowns a year. I'll take that thing.
Yep.
When the next guy is throwing like 30, that's a big difference.
On, folks. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Ooh, Aaron Rodgers. All right.
Hey, we're moving. I like seeing these picks go.
Well, most people, you've got kind of this priority list, and then it's really just a matter of who's on the list still when it comes up to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's basically what it is. Like, I have all my people in my queue over here.
Yep.
I haven't been using the queue. It's kind of been trying to watch and pay attention to who's where and what.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on the actual like draft platform that we're using today?
It's not
bad.
If you had the timer a little more organized, I think it'd be a way better. The timer is probably an issue.
Yeah, I concur.
But other than that, man, everything seems to be rolling smoothly.
I also the little report on the left hand side that you can get the stats of the person is really convenient. It's like right there. I've used that a couple of times, which is nice. Ooh, that's a deep tight end right there.
Yeah, that's who I was going to go for next. Can't pronounce his name for the life of me, but that's who I was going for.
Pat Fryermuth?
Yeah.
Yeah, When you're this late, you're just hoping for a starter, right?
Yeah.
Like based off the draft rankings, I had planned around 6-7 taking Kittle or Goddard. That's where I ended up. So some of the plans are able to shake out the way they are.
Yep.
It's just still, even in a 16-man league, when you got, like, we're going to be picking people who won't even start. You know what I mean? We're just hoping they're going to play any games, you know? Like now we're picking people who aren't even drafted in some leagues that I'm in.
Second defense just went.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a while for them to come back around, and he
Yeah.
wants his Jets. Pick 9. I would say that's probably where the first D may go. Not where they should go, but where they typically may go.
Yeah. And it starts to make sense, right? Because you start, looking at his team. He's already picked up most of his starters.
Yeah.
He's trying to round out his team. So, I mean, I get this part of the draft. This is where they probably start showing up. Wouldn't be
Yep.
too surprised, just depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah. You just took who I was going to grab. Right there. That's a good pick. Dobbins is a great pick, dude. Like I'm saying, if you're getting number 2 running backs in a 16-team league at this level in the 9th round, you're doing your draft right. Like J.K. Dobbins could be a starter by the end of the season. Is it not possible? A lot of these guys are, but if you're already up there sharing time, I like your chances.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chubba.
There you go. Chubba Hubbard. Luke Musgraves.
And I don't see it. For as much crap as we gave Team 46 for picking up the Niners, I don't see a team that's like outright winning or outright losing on the draft. It seems like everyone's pretty balanced throughout, with some little nuances here and there, but it's pretty solid all the way. And like I said, the teams are paying attention when they don't start a run on defenses, or they don't start a run on QBs when someone starts it a little earlier.
Am I on the clock yet?
I'm trying to pick Jaleel.
Yep, now I am now. Luke Musgrave, Chubba
I
Hubbard.
can't find Musgrave. Where the hell are you?
McLaughlin. Hang on.
He just went.
Hang
Musgrave
on.
just.
He might be coming off.
Yeah, Musgrave.
Who? What?
Musgrave.
Yeah, Musgrave's gone.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I'm going to take Zach Charbonnet, number 2 running back.
I gotta change here.
I'm sorry, what? Musgrave's not going now?
Musgrave is back available. He said he clicked the wrong guy. He was trying to go for McLaughlin. So
Got it.
no one picked him up while we were changing, so he's good. So he's back up there.
God, my entire team is on bye week 5 and 6. My entire team, like no joke.
Yeah, are you of the strategy to kind of take all of your bye weeks at once, or you try and dodge it as
Well,
much
I
as you
like to
can?
get them out of the way early. I don't
Yeah.
like to be struggling looking for a playoff spot, having to be like, oh man, I got to cut this guy to do this, and I need him for next week, and oh man.
Yep.
So like there are struggles when your bye weeks come late in the season in fantasy. In regular season football, NFL, yeah, you want your bye week late, right?
Yeah.
Not here. And you want to get them out of the way early. So that's my plan. And to rotate them between the 2 weeks. Hopefully injuries don't hurt me.
Yeah. All right, moving on. At least we can agree this goes faster than the real draft.
Yeah. All right, this is my longs. Oh, well, it's going. It's going pretty quick.
Yeah,
now.
it's moving.
You're getting some picks in. But I still got a while before it gets back around to me, so I'm going to run upstairs and be right back.
Cool.
Got to check on my kids, too,
Yeah.
My wife yelled at me, you could at least let me know.
Yes, my wife is a saint. She's in the room. She's taking care of the boys tonight, so.
Right. And mine starts school tomorrow. So
Oh.
she's up there getting them ready. Yeah, she's up there getting them ready for school tomorrow, so saint she is.
Man, that's early. Well, it's about right, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's a little early. It's about a week earlier than I'm used to, so it's all right, though. Send those little sons of guns back. Last week it'd be good,
Yeah, we start on the 26th, so we got about another week.
Yeah, just a week behind. Usually the last week in August.
Hey, how's it going?
There is
What's
a dude
happening?
without having a quarterback at all who just took Herbert. Let me ask you a question. Is Herbert a better option than any quarterback left?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm taking Justin Herbert over the other Herbert any day, regardless if there's no quarterbacks or not. You know what I mean? Like Stafford,
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has who to throw to now? He's got Judy, Cooper. Like, so what about his running backs, man? He has Joku, Cooper. Like, I mean, hey, I'm not hating or trying to tell someone Watson, but that's gold if you're out there with that. Right? Like, Herbert, Stafford, and Watson still out there. So if you have 3 options, like, he's the only one without a quarterback I see. I guess that actually not bad unless the people take 2 quarterbacks here in the turn. But if you got Allen, are you wasting quarterback time now? If you got Hurts, maybe. Richardson, he's coming off the injury. You already know he gets hurt. Same with Tua. Just looking at strategy points here. I mean, I guess his running back room is a little bit, who knows? Harris, Spears, Brown, and Herbert. Is anyone a starter? Looking at that San Fran team. Took Goff. Man, that started off a good team. Then it just went south quick.
Which team is that?
The team that took the Niners. Team 46. It started off good. And then just went bad.
Yeah, they didn't recover very well. But it'd be interesting to see if maybe they make some good moves.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
I like Team 1. Team 1's good. I don't know I mean, there's so many other options out there with Benson and Ndudze that I think could have been well placed there, but I like his team most otherwise.
And you're almost cursed being a first round pick in a 16-team
Yeah.
league, right? Because like you can't not pick McCaffrey. Like, you know, what would you do instead? And so like you're kind of handcuffed to that because you won't get the option next time.
I mean, in actuality, punish me by making me take McCaffrey. You know,
Yeah, right.
like I love McCaffrey right now. You know, 1,000 yards receiving, 1,000 yards rushing. What, he's gonna get 20 touchdowns and 60, 70 catches, maybe 100. Like, that's what you dream of any fantasy player. So yeah, that's a good first pick. But like you say, you got to waste the first pick to get him.
Right.
And then you take Laporta, and then you get Evans. So it really don't matter who you take second, third there. They're both turn.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick. I would, if Prescott was there instead of Love, I would have liked it even more. If he took Gus Edwards instead of White, I would have loved. So there's even little moves there that, because I was talking Gus Edwards earlier. I think him and Dobbins are going to be good. See, but Benson, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I understand Connor. I was like, but there's no one else. So Benson's a shot in the dark, a number 2 runner.
Yep.
I like number 2 runners in fantasy football. They're the most valuable thing on a bench, if you ask me, because you know on that Wednesday morning when those fantasy waivers run, you're hoping you get that running back that everybody just shot their load on, because running backs are so valuable.
Yep.
Somebody's going to be running to pay all that money for Corum this year. Somebody. It's just like in every league, like you knew it. Like Charbonnet won last year. Like somebody ran to get him when Walker went down. Just like even if it's a hamstring or an ankle, it's trade value or it's actual be able to play them value. You know? Makes
sense. Yeah, curious. So most of the time when we do this kind of league, there's a little bit of trade. There's not a whole lot. Usually someone tries to just lowball everybody, which you can expect that. But I think there might have only been a handful of trades, 2 or 3 maybe, that happened a season in the 64-team league.
Hopefully that'll change. Like by week 2, we'll have 3 trades with just me alone. I love to trade. I mean, here's the thing. You should be trading all the time. If you ain't trying to trade, if you're like, I like my team, you're not paying attention that football changes every week.
Yeah.
Every week. The next week, your guy who just threw 4 touchdowns may now throw 4 picks. And then now you lost all that value of the guy who was like, yeah, no, I don't want him now. You know, now he's risk of losing his job. Right. So football changes not for long. Right. We hear that saying. So I'm trading every week. And it's like, yeah, you're trying to get rid of him. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of everybody. I just said I'm going to try to trade Amon-Ra St. Brown. What are people going to look like? What are you trying to trade him for? Dude, he's a stud top 10 pick, man. I'm trying to trade for another stud. You got one, you know, right?
Yep. Put something up there. At least start the conversation.
Yeah. I like that Algier pick. See, like, because if Robinson gets hurt, man, you just got to steal in what, round 10?
Yeah. Which is...
See, they always say the most valuable commodity in the NFL is a backup quarterback, right? But in fantasy football, it's typically the backup quarterback.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I won one of my leagues off of Le'Veon Bell going down and already having Connor, or being able to pick up Connor. It's one of those two, but you know, having that handcuff is a nice perk when it happens.
Seeing the guy just took Herbert too. And with Richardson, yeah, that's a good value. But you now have a guy who, regardless if it's just Palmer or whoever he's throwing to out there in L.A., he's still got a good quarterback who's capable. You know, experience. Harbaugh's good, man. Harbaugh's going to get the best out of Herbert. I just think so. I think Herbert should have been taken where the other A-Bear was. You know, I think maybe it was one of those Steve Smith things. He clicked the wrong one, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and say your 4th running back is more valuable than your starting quarterback. I'm just not going to say that. Even though I believe is the backup quarterback, like, hey, DeAndre Swift goes down, Herbert's a stud, right? We've seen that. But you don't have a quarterback yet. Now you're going to be stuck with it. You better hope you get one of the 2 I mentioned. Like, all right, I'm not trying to tell people to pick people, but if he lets one pass here, I'm going to rag him. Not rag him like insult him, but, you know, run his team a little bit, man. That needs to be put in check because you, like, have these, like, he's on the clock, right? Is he listening? I don't know. There you
Yeah,
go.
I think so.
See, like, that's just good cement. You want that for a fantasy, right? Because if you start having a team where they're not built right, you know, like, this guy's taking Penix. I don't even know how to say his name right? Like it looks like a penis, so I say penis. You know, but he's got Penix, and like, is he going to even be starter? Is he counting on Cousins getting hurt when you make that pick?
Yeah, I don't know if I make that bet. Not this
Right.
early. Maybe as like one of my last couple picks as like your long shot, but not this early.
I do think Cousins gets traded. Only, and not because there will be teams out there. There's just, they don't want him anymore. Not when they see how Penix is playing. They don't want him. They don't want that salary. Or you like, come on, man. With Penix is playing this well, you want to pay that salary for Cousins? You don't want that. You're gonna hope to trade that as soon as you can. That was a bad move, anyways. But the draft pick was good. But the draft pick was bad because they already had Cousins. But the Penix pick was a great pick. Just a bad pick because they had Cousins.
Yeah.
If you understand the angle I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and then the question would be where does Cousins land? Like who would be in need of a quarterback? I know Las Vegas is like, it's not good when you go through your first preseason game and the coach says he still has to sleep on it as to who's going to be your starter next week.
Yeah, it depends on who also gets who's hurt, right? Like, there's going to be injuries. So that's like, who gets hurt. I'm looking at wide receivers right now, guys, and it is just trash. Like I'm talking about the Chargers, right? You got Quentin Johnson here. Palmer's probably already gone. No, there's DJ Chark. Like, you got some options. Quentin Johnson, we saw he could be explosive. Now with Mike Williams gone and Allen gone, can it finally be him? I think so. That's why I took him. I love Harbaugh. I love his ability to get the most out of players. I see it all the time. You see it from all these small receivers they have, the fast receivers they had at Michigan. He gets the most out of them. And I'm just interested to see.
You speak his name, he gets drafted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Harrison Butker.
I
like it.
Are
Jarrett
we taking
Stidham.
kickers now?
Oh God.
Tyrod Taylor.
See, that's the problem with waiting that long for a position. You're now starting Hunter Henry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, you have like we were talking about with the guy who was on here earlier. He took Hawkinson because that's going to be value later on. Hunter Henry, man, you're going to get weeks of zero. You're going to get way too many weeks of zero, right? So now that's the best you had there. But now with Chuba Hubbard, you put yourself in a position like maybe where Smith and Jigba was, you could go ahead and take a tight end there. Like, you don't want to go ahead and reach, but you also know you don't want to put yourself behind the eight.
Especially when you have to worry about going 30-some picks before you get another chance.
Yeah. That's why when I took Mahomes, I'm not taking a quarterback again until either later on when they're all thin. Like, you see people taking Burrow and Caleb Williams. Now you're just going to be at a point with which one do I start?
Yep.
Right? And you got 2 tight ends and 2 quarterbacks. And yet you're going to be starting Neighbors. And I get that. I like that. It's just, when have you seen a New York Giant wide receiver do well the last few years? When?
Not in the last decade.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'll shut up. But Neighbors, until he proves he's good, you can't take him in the second round. You just can't.
Right.
I mean, we were looking for him in the 4th round and we're shocked. So it isn't like I'm just saying something out of school here. We were like, oh my God, Neighbors is gone. Oh, wow. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
And this type of thing happens when you talk fantasy football. When you do a draft, you know, I always say not confrontation in this act, but calling it out is accountability for learning. And, you know, having a bad draft, you know, we play fantasy football for years, right? And kind of like the needling of the people who make a bad move is the fun thing to do. Like, dude, you took the 49ers there. And even when you're even trying to be serious about it and discussing football, you still have it in the back of your mind like you're insulting this guy. Because in a way, you kind of feel like you're mocking the pick, but you're looking at the board and it sticks out like a sore thumb. The 49ers pick. Just look at it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's color-coded, it's kind of hard to miss.
I mean, that's
Shiny
just
purple.
damaging. Because that team was on a good track. Like, after, like, he could have took, like, I don't know, man. There's so many options. I thought he could have hit Keenan Allen. That's who I thought he was going to grab there. I was like, man, that's going to be a pretty good team. Now he'll go 0 running back. Because, like, it's not just you're looking at your team. You're looking at who you're competing against, right? Like, who can I beat? Who's going to beat me?
All right, that's at the end around 10. So still got a little bit ways to go.
We're getting there.
Yep. Michael, how's your draft going so far, do you think?
Going pretty
Yeah,
well.
you've been quiet,
I like
man.
I had to get the wife and kids to bed, you know, eat dinner.
Yeah.
Work today. So now we just we finish out the draft, enjoy some vodka, talk some ball with y'all.
All right.
Live the dream,
Good to
man.
get back into talking football, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to go with my heart right after the first round, man. I'm an Eagles fan, so I couldn't let Saquon go any farther.
Dude, that was a gold pick. You know, the thing about Saquon is I was thinking about him right there at Amon-Ra St. Brown, and now that I ended up getting where I wish I would have. But Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles, if that isn't the biggest upgrade at a position in the past few years, I don't know what is.
Talk about an offensive line change, huh? Especially when you watch the Giants still in the preseason look terrible on the offensive line.
Dude, Saquon Barkley's going to run 7 yards before he's touched 90% of the time. I exaggerate there, but by how much, right? Like,
Right.
He's going to get so many yards before he's touched.
I think with Mekhi Becton now starting at right guard, too, it might be the biggest offensive line I think I've ever seen. Just across the board. Just monsters.
Can you imagine if they still had Kelsey, though? If they still
Oh,
had
man.
him?
Oh, man.
Like, there's part of me that thinks he may still come back, but he got that new job, so I don't know. But, man, I still was like, his brother's still playing.
I was I didn't really anticipate going quarterback so early, but when Allen and Hurts went, had to make a pivot, so
I mean, as far as the draft goes, though, it doesn't look like, even though we talk about the 49ers pick, there isn't something so absurd that is like, okay, this league's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, because
Right.
even with the Neighbors pick, I believe there was at least a thought behind of why. Like, oh, he's a rookie, he's a new pick, a new player. He can't be as bad as the other Giants wide receivers, but he will be. And it's not because Neighbors is bad. It's because the staff, the coaching staff, they're just bad at getting the ball to the right people. They had struggles getting it to Barkley, man. Like, and it's the quarterback situation. They should have did away with that. They should have stopped that experience.
I think
Man,
the only
your
thing that'll
team's
save
good,
him is
dude.
just the sheer amount of target volume, because there's nobody else there.
Yeah,
Nobody.
That's it. Your team's good, dude. I like Barkley. You got Lamar. You got an MVP quarterback right there. I love Andrews. You got that combo. If you got a combo, you have to have it at tight end and quarterback is my favorite thing. That's an advantage. So you have an advantage now at tight end because if you get a double up from a tight end position, that's gold. Tank Dell, there's a lot of options there. That's the only, but dude, Calvin Ridley's still going to be good. I like Addison because we've talked about the Minnesota wide receivers. I think a number 2 wide receiver always benefits in an offense when they're going to feed the number 1 wide receiver, because bad quarterbacks, even though they like to feed the number 1 wide receiver, they'll sprinkle it to that number 2 guy a little bit more, because once they take out that option, they're scared to throw it, right? So Darnold will it'll take him a minute, but it'll get caught on that Jefferson's being taken away by double teams. So they're going to double team him all day, make him throw to Addison left and right. So I like the Addison pick. Cooks, the Cowboys, Cooks will have his big games. He'll have his good games. He'll have his duds. Same for Lockett. The Miami running game, it's always going to work. Who's going to be the odd man out? Is it going to be Mostert this year? Maybe. If he gets hurt, I think he'll go away and won't come back. So I like the right pick, because backup running backs. I'm sorry, did I drift off a little bit? No, yeah, the right pick. I'm sorry, I was looking at another pick come down, and it threw me off a little bit when the pick came up, because I'm on a delay looking at the screens here. Because the delay is different from our talk delay here. Yeah. Oh, it's my pick too. Sorry, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm just talking here. Shout me out, man. I'm so sorry, guys. I know y'all are waiting. To the people listening, I'm an ass. I'm sorry, man. Again, wide receiver so thin. What's it look like at running back right now? Like Antonio Gibson. Does he finally do something? I don't think so. I'm going Dameon Pierce because Mixon's old.
Fair.
It's the only option I had at this point, right? Number 2 running backs. I talked about them. You got to have, if Mixon gets hurt, tell me he's not going to be a number 1 waiver pick, right?
Right.
Even if he's a scrub, it's about, they're going to hand him the ball at the goal line if they have an opportunity if Mixon gets hurt. And Mixon, man, I had him last year. There's those games that he'll get, but he ain't on the Bengals anymore. So he's just going to have those games. Yeah.
That was a weird signing.
Round 11? Yeah.
Yeah, 11th round. So we're getting there. It seems like people are clicking faster now.
Oh, nice.
There's one correction on Team 36, but they haven't said who they wanted it switched to, so the longer they wait, the less people they have a chance to pick.
They're lucky you're even switching it for them, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah, I know. So the only rule I have is as long as it hasn't been claimed by someone who's picked since you picked. If they said Pierce, but you already picked up Pierce, and say, hey, look, sorry, you missed the boat. Keep going.
Yeah. Keep naming people until I grab
them.
Right. That isn't fun.
Foreman.
Yeah. Now you know what? Now that guy grabbed Deshaun Watson, he saved his team. He waited too long for a quarterback, but he saved it by getting that guy. You know what I mean? He saved it by getting Watson.
It is interesting, too. There's some of the teams, I think there's 3 of them, drafted 2 quarterbacks in the first 9 rounds. Someone brought it up in the chat, too.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, 1 QB league, guys, 16 spots. You're wasting a spot. Like Caleb Williams. Like I said, I like Caleb, but, man, a little early. And now you're picking guys like Irving. I mean, we're going to pick scrubs, but I'm picking a guy like Pierce. You're picking a guy named Irving. You know what I mean? They're both. It is what it is, but.
I just want to have to make the decision every week on which one I'm starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it easier on yourself.
You're going to feel horrible when the other guy goes off.
Yeah, that's right. Holmes, and then I'm done. Mahomes, and then I live and die by it, right? He may suck. Same for Lamar Jackson. You live and die by it. You take him that early. I'm not drafting another one. I already got him. The guy at the end isn't taking another quarterback. I guarantee you he's not taking another quarterback. He's got Josh Allen. Why is he taking another quarterback?
Why waste it?
He's going to start him on bye week.
And at that point, you drop off your least productive receiver for the week, grab a streamer, and
find whatever backup's making a spot start for the week, and that's what you're going with.
Yep. How do you survive a week?
If it's like last year, I mean, Geez, picking quarterbacks up off the waiver wire towards the playoffs was the move, man. Joe Flacco, Jake Browning, those guys were winning leagues, and they were free.
It's insane how the players that we're scrolling by and maybe mocking right now, right? Like I sit here and I mock Irving, right? But he could be the guy who's getting a 3-touchdown game in the playoffs because he's a flyer, right? And he comes on hot and he rushed for Zamir White gets hurt or whatever, or I'm sorry, White gets hurt a little bit. And then you get these guys who will just come in and just blow up, like Liddell Betts years ago with Portis getting hurt. And you see it every year. And I don't know. I think good players will always shine, like a Blake Corum. If he gets an opportunity, he's going to shine, you know? And there's players out there. Is Irving going to be a good player? I don't know. We'll find out. Is he going to be an Eckler? Or is he going to be, you know, somebody who's, Lawrence Phillips, somebody who's supposed to be maybe good and stuff? I don't know. There's a lot of different risks out there, and you're in picking 12 though, but it's like you want to minimize. Like I'm scrolling down, right? I'm not looking at the top level here on the draft board, right?
Oh, there goes
Like
your first
I'm
kicker.
not looking at, yeah, that's okay at this point, right?
Yeah, you're
Like,
getting to that
you're
point.
getting Bucker. Like you're getting a good kicker though, but I'm not picking the kicker here. If I understand the logic, like dude, you have 2 quarterbacks and a kicker. You're short somewhere. You're going to have a major deficiency during the season. It looks at running back.
Yeah. You also only have 1 tight end, so that could be a thing there. Yeah, it just depends.
I don't mind the 1 tight end as much. Because, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hurt as much, but having
Tuning in to
only
see
1 tight
how
end-
much shit you guys are talking about my kicker pick.
Yeah, hey, come on
Hang
in.
on, let me bring it back in, Casey. Here you go.
Go ahead, let me hear it. I've got to Okay, think about this. In a 16-team league, right now we're picking a bunch of just scraps of running backs and wide receivers. A top 3 kicker could make all the difference during the season. That's why I made the pick.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying is like at this point, you're at least getting a guaranteed value for the pick.
Yeah.
But the question is the balance of what would you be sacrificing or what are you not picking up in lieu of that? So,
Well, what's funny is I honestly don't think I've sacrificed anything at this point because again, what's out there from a wide receiver running back perspective, you're getting really low end. I've got a pretty decent QB, a decent backup QB, which I think was needed. And honestly, I have a top tight end. I have a couple top running backs on top of. I'm pretty feeling like my roster is pretty balanced at this point.
If I'm going to be honest about people I may have taken over them, right, based off like how I stick by the number 2 running back thing, like a Jamal Williams can come in and have a big factor with the amount of running backs you have. Still looking at it, Rashawn Johnson, this Chicago, like AJ Dillon. I mean, if we're going to be honest, the number 1 running back on the board out there right now is AJ Dillon in my eyes. Justice Hill, the backup running back in Baltimore now, right? So I mean, like. There's backups out there. Miles Sanders. I mean, it's still a mess there in Carolina. So if you're taking like risks versus reward, right? I think there's kicker value still out there that you could pass on a kicker right now. Not to mention, Bucker is a number 1 kicker, but there's still Tucker. I mean, maybe he goes next, right? Maybe you get Tucker who goes Aubrey, right? Like you got Aubrey who goes next. He could have picked Aubrey on this pick. He may not have needed to pick Aubrey in the first of his turns. He could have did it on his back
But
one. Same
as you know, all it takes is 1 person to start the waterfall, which is what happened with the QB. Didn't quite happen with the defense. I'm actually kind of surprised defense hasn't cascaded as much as I would assume it. In other leagues I played, once 1 defense goes, it just goes.
Yeah. It's sort of the waterfall.
Yeah.
It's probably because ours went in like round 4. The
Yeah,
first one.
to be fair, it was the 5th round, but yes.
Oh, my bad. 5th round.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you on the kickers thing there. I'm a big streaming proponent, right? Like if you're in a position where you're starting 1 and you're going to pick them so late in the league and in a standard league, the majority of people pick kickers and defenses late. So you already know that going in. So if you do want a good kicker, you can get a good kicker always, right? Like, if you really want a kicker, you could get one. Look at that guy wanted 49ers. He got him. You really wanted 49ers. He got him. You wanted Bucker. You got him in what round even? 11, right? So there's those rounds that you could get that good guy if you want him. I'm going to get a good defense. And I'm going to get a good defense because I'm going to play matchup. And when you play matchups, you know, in a 16-team league, there's going to be 16 teams gone, right? So there's already 16 defenses. You're going to have a little less streaming. But you will always have options out there. Some people will cut a good defense because they're picking up a new one. Or so there's always those defenses that'll flump. There's 32 of them. If people start picking 2 defenses, then, well, I'm screwed. But now I'm anticipating that hopefully people don't pick 2 defenses and they realize it's a waste of a roster. So you're counting on other teams, too, to, you know, like when I was saying picking like a Deshaun Watson, you don't hurt your other matchups. You keep the symmetry of the league in shape. So if you're picking a kicker way early or a defense way early, you kind of mess up the symmetry. Like the competitive balance, if you will. Like, because if there's one guy without a quarterback way late, now his team stinks because he didn't have a quarterback. Now we're like all beating that guy all year long, and then it's an easy win for everyone.
Yeah, like I said, I'm feeling pretty good about my pick at the moment.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how it plays out. I mean,
Hey, dude,
17
your
rounds
team.
seems, yeah. And again, I think Matt said something earlier too, which I think is really important, which is the team that we pick now isn't always the team we wind up with. So like, this is just the starting, you know, and I think that's a good, you know, good call to think about it. So
That Estime pick is fantastic. He's going to be the starter there in a few weeks, if you ask me. That guy, they aren't going to run with the guys that already stunk. You know what I mean? I get McLaughlin and Williams is there, but they already showed that they're, yeah. No, they're just, yeah. Estime is going to come in and just take all those carries. Like, you just already know with, like, certain teams and the way coaches coach, you already know they're looking for that backup running back to come in because they don't like what they have on their team. Like, look what they did in Washington with that new coach. They went and got Eckler. They always want to go get their own guy. Team 16.
At least there's some running backs out there that I still like.
Yeah, there's some.
This
you
wide
know?
receiver group is disgusting.
Yeah, there ain't shit out there. Crap.
I can
Nothing.
tell myself a
Nothing.
story about these running backs. I can't tell myself a lot of stories about these wide receivers.
God, it's trash. It's straight trash in the wide receiver room.
It's really gross.
Hey, Kadarius Toney's out there, ladies and gentlemen. Go grab
Hell
him.
yeah.
See how
Do we
many
get
balls
a-
he drops week 1.
Do we get
God,
kick
he's
return or
terrible.
punt return points?
Yes, it's defense special teams.
He went with Justin
There goes
Tucker.
Tucker.
Oh, give me some Daniel Jones. Kidding. All right, yeah, I can't lie. I'm going to go with what I said was the best option out there. Jacobs gets hurt. This guy's going to be the guy. It's just such a mess. God.
Do it. That way we got the 12th round bet on who the backup is in Green Bay.
I'm just scrolling, making sure I'm like, oh, well, this guy's a little bit better. I mean, because at this point, it's just like, these all suck, right? Like, Ronnie Rivers, get him. Like, A.J. Dillon, I mean, in all seriousness, there's not a lot out there better than him right now. I even said that picks before when people had a chance to get him. So I'm like, well, At least I say what I mean, you know?
Yeah.
Not talking nonsense. Like, hey, somebody grab him. I mean, like Matthew
Back-to-back
Stafford
Green Bay
out there
running
right
backs.
now. Like, I mean, maybe because I want somebody to grab him so I don't, but like Matthew Stafford out there right now. Like, what are we doing? Like, I guess we all have quarterbacks, but this is like good players slide in leagues. Deshaun Watson going there is just criminal. You know? Like, you look at it after it's settled. That guy's got a good team. He saved it. He was listening to us, lucky guy. We saved his team. Because if he didn't get a quarterback there, he was done. That would have been a mess. Hey, keep those kickers coming, guys.
Yeah.
Keep them. Keep them up. Go on. Go on.
Take them all.
Take a kicker.
Every
Take
one
a
of them.
kicker. Hey, take back-to-back kickers, too. There's 32 of them. I'll take the worst one. I bet you we won't be the worst in points at the end of the year because kickers are crazy predictive. They're so hard.
Was it Aubrey the #1 kicker last year? How many people drafted him?
Right. Good
Yeah,
point.
nobody.
Dude, that 66-yarder he hit the preseason was dope, though.
Mm-hmm.
We got hyped for that one.
I will say we are going strong on the stream here. I did not expect to have 8 people sitting on here for 3 hours. That's kudos to you guys, man.
Some degens, man.
Yeah.
I'm yawning. I got to go smoke. Dude, I've been dying to try to get out of here to smoke a bowl. I just haven't been able. So I'm running for city council in my city since we're running slow here. So I'm running for city council in the city I live in because
Cool.
I'm battling what the equivalent is to the mayor, which is the city manager, because he makes $180,000 a year.
God.
But the reason I'm running is because in our city, we don't have recreational marijuana sales. We only have medical marijuana sales. And I live in Michigan where it's legal everywhere. But I have a uptight city manager. I work at a radio station in this small town. So we have, you know, arrogance aside, a little bit of a power struggle. If people listen to my show, they like to listen to what I talk about. He doesn't want to pass it. So I had the marijuana shop owner on my show. And I straight asked her, I said, so how's business? And she goes, not good. And I said, so if you guys don't get your recreational marijuana sales license before the end of the year,
Shut
you guys
down.
go out of business, huh? She goes, yeah. So that changed the entire landscape. The city council got word of it. So they finally passed it after 4 years. We now have
Nice.
recreational marijuana. So people are like, run for city council, run for city council. So I'm running for city council now.
Cool.
And the whole entire point is recreational marijuana. I had to drive until I got my medical marijuana license 20 miles just to go get marijuana. Now I could go 13 feet next door to my house.
That's a lot.
That's why I was fighting, dude. What I was I'm trying to save myself gas. I mean, I've had tumor removed from the front of my head, so I get
Oh, shit.
migraines. So I don't tell me what I can and cannot smoke, right? I don't care who you are. I'm gonna smoke what I want, right? So yeah, and I'm running for city council on it, and I'm open about it, right? Because there are people who smoke marijuana who could do great things in this world. And there are people who don't smoke marijuana who are just suck, right? So it has nothing to do with the marijuana you smoke. It has to do with the person.
Makes sense. How's the campaign going?
Yesterday I had my parade and I got a website, firetheking.com, because they call him the king in town. And if you go to it, you'll see it's a legit campaign page. It's my my real name, Jeff Hines for Greenville City Council. I go by Joe Knight on the radio, but it's a legit campaign page, and it's got a video down it a little bit because I didn't want it to be the main focus of how much this guy. And it's all over our city. They don't like the city manager, so I'm running on a referendum on him, and it's going well, man. People asked for signs at the parade yesterday, so it was nice. And it's a big parade. It's the Danish Festival Parade. We're in Greenville, where Meyer, if you're from Midwest, Meyer came from here. Like the first store of Meyer was in Greenville, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a big Meyer Danish Festival parade, 60 years. We had a big old light drone show and stuff. So it's a big event in our small town.
Yeah.
And yeah, during the parade yesterday, we get thousands and thousands of people from West Michigan come to it because it's cool. Yeah, so I utilized that, man, to get in the parade, and I used all my campaign money and donations on that. So. But yeah, it's cool because in a fantasy league like this, you see all these different people. There's other radio guys in there. You got a bunch. Like, what do you guys do?
Like me personally?
Yeah, like what do you guys do for a living?
Well, I'll let Michael go.
Ooh. Maintenance parts manager, Prairie Farms Dairy.
Okay.
Here locally.
All right.
So.
How long you been
And
in
then,
fantasy football?
Fantasy content.
Yeah. How long you been playing fantasy football?
Oh man, since I was probably like 7 or 8 years old, so going on 30 years now. Yep. My stepdad got me into it when I was really young.
How were you doing it when you were young? Papers and stuff? Because like
Oh
the
yeah,
internet
yeah.
wasn't...
You had to get the paper, and you had to go count it by hand, and then they post the results at his work. He used to have
How
envelopes.
many people were checking the
People
scores
send
to
it.
make sure he did it right? Hey, you missed the stat right here. Fix it.
Yeah, a lot of experts after the fact too. Nobody wants to do the job, but yeah, I used to help them out with that. So it's kind of nice thinking about nowadays. You don't have to do any of that at all.
In my first fantasy league, we did it a weird way, but you also got points for if you picked the winning team. So in our first fantasy league, you had to pick the winning team of each game, right? So like you get a point or 3 points for a win, right? So they add it up. So our fantasy scores were different. So we spent a lot of time trying, and it wasn't, points. It was just pick the winner. So I was like, dang. Added different to it, right? Like fantasy leagues over the years evolved from all different types of scoring.
They did just a couple years ago. That same league. I mean, I took over as commish for it probably 15 years ago. I was a little bit longer. I was right in college when I took that over, and just got him off of like ESPN onto Sleeper, and then went from standard scoring to at least half PPR. Added a flex. Like just how it evolved over the years. From like a start 6 league to start 9 now. Something a little bit more normal.
My first internet league was a TD only. Meaning you got you got 1 full point for 10 yards, right? Like it was a TD only means you got majority points, not just so you got 6 points, but you only got 1 point for every 20 yards rushing, but no fractional. So you had to get that 20 yards. So if you got 99 yards, you only got credited for 8.
Joe, you're up.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Nope, you're good. Just switch over.
See, this wide receiver messes. Like you're just hoping somebody here now hits. Like Tyler Boyd in Tennessee. Like, Tyler Boyd's good, but what do they have in Tennessee? You got Hopkins. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just scrolling, looking like, is there any good? Odell Beckham, DJ Shark. These are good receivers. One's on PUP. Man, this is a mess. Like, wow. Like Juju Smith-Schuster, guys. Look how far he fell. He's now ranked 360. Like, I'm looking and I'm like, I just take him, but I'm like, I'm looking here. I'm not just like, I'm looking. Like, it's just a mess. David Bell. Like, these guys are good, but they're so far down. I'm missing someone down here. I'm looking down here. I'm like, there's going to be a good player down there. I'm going to go up since I need a wide. I need a wide. I'm going Tyler Boyd. Ugh. I do that with the reluctance of pain that's coming through. Ugh. Sorry. I said that sorry to me. That one didn't feel good, guys. That didn't feel good at all.
A Roshan pick hurt.
I know, right? Like you. Is that who you wanted?
That hurt. Yeah, that was number 1 in the queue, man.
Yeah. Like it hurts you, but would you really felt good if you had him? Like,
Yeah.
better than the other options, right?
Yes. Yeah. Just another backup running back. Just hoping the
Yeah.
starter goes down.
Which at this point you're almost hoping is like rapid fire because like it's just kind of a dart throw.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
round out the team
We're-
and pick somebody.
We're running down here. We're running down. Last couple rounds.
I would just shoot the shot on this one. Go with the rook.
Yeah. You know, that's all you're doing at this point is either taking, you know, somebody you.
Yeah, it's all the
Just got-
handcuffs.
I got too much dynasty in me, man. I see these rookies, I get too excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's me with Blake Corum. Same thing, you know. Like you see a player and you like know they're going to be good in the NFL. I'm just a year early on Corum. Corum's going to be a stud. I thought that coming into the draft too. I thought he got drafted way too low in the NFL. 3rd round for the guy who just finds the end zone. Like, what is the point of the NFL again? To score? Like, we don't take credit. Like, you see these running backs at the goal line, and some of them can't get in the end zone, or are like, why can't he score? Sometimes they don't know how to get in the end zone, right? Like, they don't know how to get in there, jump up over the line, like Emmett or, you know, any other running back who knew how to do that. Corum knows how to do that. You know what I mean? He knows how to find that hole, find that gap. There's just, how many times you see a running back on your fantasy team and you're like, why can't he get in the end zone? You know?
Oh, correction.
Almost there. Almost there. 4 to go.
Teamer, you on? Come on, Teamer.
Well, in all actuality, it hasn't changed from 66666 yet, right? Like it's been on that 166666.
Yeah.
So. Have we really only been at this 23 minutes? No. So what's up? Like, is that clock broken? Like the 66 just supposed to be zeros or something?
I think I just maxed it out because I hit the value as like 999999999 as long as it let me go. So I probably broke the clock.
Okay.
So I'll just turn it down to 0 when we're done.
Ran out of digits.
It's just staying at 37 and the 30 count, so just keep going.
These cues
Oh
I got
no,
getting
it
real small.
resets. It resets to 16663853 every time. Watch.
Oh.
Or 5253, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huh, that's interesting.
There we go. Backup quarterback.
Gino.
And, you know, talking what, the 14th round? It's a solid pickup.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
about right. Like, he's getting his backups there. That was the guy we were talking to earlier.
Yeah.
He didn't take a kicker, though.
He
Get on that, man. Get on your kicker, bro. I'm gonna crack out that St. Elmo's.
Oh, all right.
Crack out that St. Elmo's bourbon here. you guys been? You heard of St. Elmo's in Indy, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys ever tried that shrimp?
I watched Joey Chestnut do it.
Oh, dude.
Shrimp eating
Have
contest.
Have you ever eaten any of that shrimp though from down there? Has anybody ever been there?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh,
Spicy.
God.
Spicy. It'll kick you. It'll kick you. They're not messing around with that horseradish. They put plenty in.
They're like, let's extra horsey it up.
Let's clear your sinuses for you.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It's so good though. Like my daughter, I always told her spice is good. Now she won't eat anything without spice. She makes the crappy ramen noodles. She'll dump a whole bottle of hot sauce in that stuff. I ain't kidding.
Let's go.
Right? Like she'll go. Like I have to go to dollar store and buy those dollar hot sauces because she'll literally use half a bottle. Like in all seriousness, half a bottle of like that Frank's Red Hot. And like it's insane. I know she's 12, dude. I mean, I wish I was like joking, but I'm not being sarcastic here. Like a half a bottle of those small little Frank's Red Hot, she'll just make like that'll be her water she uses almost. It's insane. I don't know what I taught her.
Why not? Why not?
That Odell Beckham pick's a good pick. Mason, see, that's the thing. Like if McCaffrey gets hurt, it's going to be Mitchell, and he always gets hurt too. Yep. I like Mason. You know?
They've been talking him up this preseason. Now, could just be talk.
Yeah.
Usually is just talk, but why not? At least you know who you can cut right away. You know, it's beginning of the season. Pick somebody else up after week 1.
There we go.
There's a Carson Steele pick. I was wondering when we were going to see that.
Oh, I'm on the clock here. Here we go. All right. Let me check one thing here. Cover all my bases. Yeah, see, I can't even like.
All right, you got 5 seconds. Ready?
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going to take. I guess I'm going to have to take him, even though I really didn't want to. I'm just scrolling down wide receivers one more time, guys. Looking at my roster, making sure I get the right thing. Damn. This just feels dirty taking players like this who suck, you know? Damn, they're so bad. All right. So bad. I'm gonna go. I'm going back up here. I'm gonna mock my own self. I'm taking a kicker. I'm taking Bass.
I knew it. I knew he was gonna cave.
Yuck. Trade that. Better yet, I'm going. Trying to get him over there. There they go. Finally. Sorry, guys. Trying to draft. There they go. Want to get into the draft window. Trying there. There it is. It's picked. I'm waiting for it to come through.
Gotcha.
Has anybody had any issue? Because I've been trying to get sometimes get them into the draft window, and it does take a second. Like I think I'm clicking it, and it doesn't go in.
Yeah, it's been a little finicky.
Okay.
But not
all right, because I was
not
like,
horrible, but it's got its hiccups.
Yeah, I mean, I like a defense if I'm going to pick anything, but the one problem is I'm still going to probably stream. You know what I mean? So I figured I'd take them. I don't mind their week 1 matchup. Green Bay, you know, so I don't mind. It's where is it at? Down in so it's going to be a rough game, right? Like it's going to be high elevation. No, wait, this is where's the Friday game at? Is that down in Brazil?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I can look it up.
right? Like that Friday game after the Thursday night game is in Brazil with Philadelphia and Green Bay, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Zill.
Yeah. So that's why I'm taking the defense for that one. I was like, man, that may be a rough go for the offense. So even a Green Bay offense may work, but I still think running games are going to work. I don't know. I'll have to break that down a little bit more as you look into it. Man, it feels good talking football.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, in all seriousness, in my world, it's been fucking politics for the past. Sorry for the cussing, man. It's just, but you know, so it's like talking football again. It just feels good. So much football to talk to. Like, look at we're talking about who you know what? I'm seeing players I've seen for the first time. You know. I'm in 10 and 12 leagues, and we're in 15. So these players aren't even getting drafted. You see about them in like training camp and stuff, but like,
Yep.
who's this Iosavis guy? Iosavis?
Bless you.
Yoshivas.
Yoshivas. Who the hell is he?
Second year guy. Might be the number 3 receiver.
Might be.
I'm banking on Burton, but if Yoshivas is it, I wouldn't be mad either.
See, I know Burton. Yoshivas, I mean, I must not have seen his name yet, but then again, I've just been getting over the fantasy football. It's weird.
Small school kid.
Politics. Yeah.
I mean, you don't follow a lot of Princeton football players, so.
Well, I followed Hofstra with Colston.
There you go.
He was on the last Hofstra football team. They don't even have a team anymore. They don't even have a school anymore, do they?
Mm.
Is Hofstra still
Don't know.
a school? Probably. Yeah, no, it's still a school. Long Island. They just canceled most of their athletics.
Drop football. 2009, man. That was forever ago.
Yeah, Colston, the last drafted player from Hofstra. Yeah, I had a feeling some more defenses were going to be taken coming up. So here's the Eagles matchups for their first 4 weeks. Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay.
You're up, by the way.
Yeah, you're up.
Right. So I just wish wide receiver wasn't so terrible. I'm going to have to go. God. Can you imagine if any of these got playing time? Any of them? do you see anybody who's going to get playing time? Anyone?
I got one more in me. One more.
I'm scrolling down, guys. I have to. I mean, ugh. Sterling Shepard? Like, what are we doing here? David Bell, Jamison Crowder, like these guys. Like, I know these guys feel me. They're doing the same thing. They're like, what scrub wide receiver can I pick? So I'm going to take Roman Wilson. I know he's banged up a little bit. But I think he'll be all right. Yeah, dude. There's no point taking a fucking tight end. Try to watch my language, my bad. But when I get talking football, you know, they'd
Well,
use
yeah,
worse
yeah.
on the field.
So you got one at least.
Yeah. Oh no, I like my one tight end, and there's going to be tight ends who, you know, come out and do something for a week here and there.
I'm gonna have to get heavy on the timer for the next 3 drafts. Can't be
Yeah.
doing 12 hours
Yeah.
of drafts.
Dude, we've been at 3 hours on a draft here, guys.
I feel bad. I only got to do one.
Right?
You'd be here for every one. You're a saint.
As long as I don't have to play in the league, we're good.
You're fine. Then you're good.
If you stay on this platform, I don't have to do any math, so I'm good for right now.
All right, Team 60, don't do it. Don't ruin my night.
Did he ruin your night? Taking Will Shipley?
No, we're good. We're good. We'll rush to the podium and just put that one in. Thank you.
There you go.
Somebody's got to be the number 1 receiver there. I don't know who. Somebody does.
Oh, in New England?
Yep.
Well, that's fine because that's who was queued up for 64. So now I gotta find someone else.
Oh, no. Poor fella.
And there's still 6 people going hard on the stream, so I appreciate you guys watching.
What
The
else are we gonna
ultimate
do on a
DJs.
Sunday night, though, dude?
All 6 of them. I figured they'd be tuned in watching Bo Nix tear it up.
Yeah.
Oh, step it up now, Bo. Step it up. You know, Bo
Bo's
Nix,
been
though,
cooking
dude.
this preseason.
Let Bo cook. Let Bo cook.
I gave him so much crap coming out, too. Happy to be wrong, though. He's cooking.
Come on, Beamer.
Oh, imagine that. Sean Clifford just threw an interception.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was a very aggressive click. You could tell that we.
Yeah.
I heard it, dude. I heard anger in that click.
There was. We're
That was we've been doing this for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
3:20. Yeah, we're 3:20 at this point. I could have watched Lord of the Rings.
At this point, you already watched Lord of the Rings. You're starting the second one.
Yeah. And this is the extended director's, whatever that is.
Director's cut. Yeah.
And the next pick is your father's brother's former roommate. There we go. All right, teamer.
sounded good on my mic, huh? So who's your favorite Cub all time?
Mine, probably Sandberg. I've met Ernie
Wrong
Banks.
answer.
It
Mark
was.
Grace.
Oh, okay. All right.
My
As long as
favorite
you're not
player
saying
all time.
Sosa.
Mark Grace, my favorite player ever. I should show you all the baseball cards I have of him. Do you know he led this 2000s in most doubles all time? Or the what year was it? The 90s. I'm sorry. He led the 90s for the most doubles all time.
I didn't know that.
Well, the 90s in doubles.
You know it's bad on the tight ends rankings. Gronkowski's still on here.
So you're saying there's a chance?
And if I'm correct here, and I'm looking it up, yeah, most base hits in the 1990s. Do you know who had it? Mark Grace. Mark Grace had 1,754 hits in the 1990s. Rafael Palmeiro had 1,747. Craig Biggio had 1,728. And Tony Gwynn himself had 1,713. Mark Grace out-hit Tony Gwynn in the 1990s and is not in the Hall of Fame.
Damn.
Mark Grace was one of the best pure hitters. When you watch Mark Grace's swing, and I'm going to drink to that, his swing, let me know if you see his swing. I'll give you Ken Griffey Jr. That swing was just immaculate. But you look at Mark Grace's swing and batting stance, you understand why that guy hit 300 and why he hit base hits more than anyone in the 1990s. That's the stat you look past because it's like you look at his swing and it's fantastic.
I talk Bo Nix up. Bo Nix gets picked. Let's go.
Yeah.
He literally just threw.
Well, you talked him up, and I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. And what that's going to do for me.
Man's coming in hot with that Tim Patrick pick.
Close. Quiet down up there, buddy. Dog's barking, sorry. Reality radio. So there's times I'm talking live on the radio because I do my national show from here, and my dog will be barking, and I'll just be like, "Shut up!" And I go back to doing my radio break. They're like, "Oh, his dog's barking." Okay, so you were just talking up Bo Nix. And I had a feeling for a while this guy was going to break out. I just don't know when. I think maybe he could do it with Bo Nix. I hit make it. It's going to go in eventually. There you go.
Okay.
I mean, look where we're at, right? I needed a number 2. What type of options do they have there, right? Not a lot, some.
You say something's got to give in Denver, right?
Yeah, so maybe him. Maybe. If not, I cut him.
Yeah. And you don't feel bad about it,
And I will not feel bad about it. I'll probably pick up a better player. But at the end of the day, he's better than any other option I could have picked. Right? Like, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But he is the option I did. Like, I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't hate my team compared to what else I'm seeing. I mean, I don't mind my starting lineup. I mean, that's what I'm looking at. I don't care who your backups are at this point. I'm looking at your backups. They're irrelevant as far as the starting lineup, right? It don't matter if you have a good number 4 wide receiver. You can't play him right now.
Right.
Only matters if you trade him or if you get hurt and you're able to overcome and he blows up. And, okay, now your team's loaded but it's your starters right now at this point.
With these next 2 picks, the first person will be done with the draft.
Yeah. Don't want to. Look at these kickers. I feel like oh my. Do they even kick the ball anymore?
Well, it's interesting. Some of these rankings have them pretty high up there, but then they're free agents.
Like Brandon McManus. Didn't he like rape a woman?
Oh, jeez, did he?
Isn't that why he's not on a team? He like kicked a woman or hit her or raped her? I don't know. There's many extremes to go from kicking or raping, but it's something of those sorts. He did something to somebody.
Yeah, that's not good.
Let me look it up. That's gonna piss off my brother because that's who he always drafts. Accused of sexually assaulting. Wow, yeah. 2 women
Jeez.
have accused McManus of. Man, I hate this shit, dude.
On
While
a
he was
flight.
on a team. While
On
he
a
was
team
on a
flight.
team flight.
How big is
If
this
they
airplane?
cut him, that means there's something to it, right? Like if they didn't cut him, that
Well,
means like no, we were there.
It's enough of a liability that they can't take the risk.
And in all reality, it's just a kicker.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know what I
you're
mean?
right.
If it's your starting left tackle, probably investigate
now
a
I-
little more than if it's your kicker.
All I'm going to say, the first thing that told me this is bullshit, and I'm sorry if you guys disagree with it or not, and I always look for, do they put their name on it or do they hide? If they put their name on it, I believe them. If they don't put their name on it, I'm not believing them because they're not putting their name to it. They're not putting their names to it. They're putting them Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's right. That's right. I mean, everybody has their opinion on these things, but it's just like, man, like, and the only reason I say that now is I'm taking a learning of what, because I used to hide my name being a radio guy, right? Stalkers, threats, people wanting to come after me for saying something inappropriate they didn't like, you know?
Sure.
So I've always understood why people would use a fake name and whatnot, or why they would protect it. But now as I'm running for politics and I know why you have to put your name out there and all that, I kind of understand why. So if you do protect your name, there's always a reason as a guy who protects his name. I get it, but it's a kicker. What's so protected? You know, it's I don't know. I don't know, right? All right, back to football.
It's one of those where it's like you just hope that all the legal processes and all that stuff
Yeah,
play out the way
I
they're
get
supposed
it.
to.
I get it, yeah. And it's a sensitive thing too, you know, because it's one of those, you don't know if anything ever happens, because like then you got Darren Sharper, who was a monster, right? You got these guys who are actually terrible human beings, and maybe McManus is one of those guys. But you know, now we're talking football, and it's like now we take risks with players because now they can make legal mistakes, and now we're hurting our fantasy teams because they're all idiots and stuff. Like look at Aaron Hernandez, you're drafting guys and stuff. So it's like when you monitor these situations, you're monitoring them for not just for your fantasy purpose, but to see, you know, like how do they treat other players in the league in the same situation, you know? If this was a quarterback, would he be cut?
Well, it also depends on how much they got, right? Because if there's
Yeah.
something substantial, then the team has to protect itself.
Yeah, no, I agree. Cutting them on the team flight, there has to be something there, maybe.
Yeah, you're up.
I'm taking Jake Bates.
Nope, someone just
Oh,
took it.
damn it, he must have just went. Oh, he was in my queue and he didn't go anywhere. That's
Sniped
awesome.
on a kicker.
Yeah, literally sniped on a kicker. That's awesome. I'm taking Brandon McManus.
Perfect way to finish the draft for you. Sniped on a kicker.
Dude.
Just dunking on
all right,
kickers
let's look.
this whole time.
Will Lutz. Greg, you know what? I was going to take... Let's just see what quarterbacks out there. I should end with Daniel Jones just on principle.
This has made me so happy.
Oh, running back. Dude, I'm going to take... Let me end with my scrub number 2 runner. Let me go down and see if there's anyone good. Jerick McKinnon is still in the league? Kareem Hunt? This is terrible. Anybody quarterback?
Dude's not on rosters right
Yeah.
I know. It's literally like I'm looking, it's like Sam Howell and Joe Flacco. All right. Man. All right. Yeah, I'm going kicker because I joked on it. Give me Just because it's so gay. Give me Matt Gay. Matt Gay, dude. The fact that I took a kicker when I said I wasn't, I'm cutting him anyways. I just wanted to have a team in there to see. He was like, what, the next kicker up there? Who wants the Atlanta kicker right now?
Yeah.
I actually think Indianapolis is a good team. When they, I think they're a good team. They, with Minshew last year, they did well. I don't think they're a bad team. Yeah. He was the best option for me. Like, what? I'm going to take Daniel Carlson, Santos. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this wraps up.
Fine. Just give me a
Your
defense
strategy
really
changes when there's nobody out there. So your strategy does change. If the best thing is a kicker, if there was somebody out there, I'd take him. Jeez. Like, look at people just taking their defenses. All right, now look, you got the Niners in round 5. Let's look at what's going here. You got the Broncos and Giants. You got the Colts. But let's go around before. You got the Lions. Like, where does a good defense stop?
Like, viably, I'd say anything 14th round seems to be okay. Like, I could live with that.
Like, the Browns are good defense. I'm trying to see if it got to me. Like, I like the Eagles. Like, the Bears are a good defense. Like, if you're going to actually consider the Bills, the Steelers, notoriously. The Browns are good late. Got the Chiefs, the Cowboys.
Yeah, like did it. 3 hours and 32 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get faster on that one.
Glad we could leave the guinea pigs for
you.
You take too long, man. Quicker.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that was a good
quicker. Wrap it up.
That was fun. I appreciate you guys hopping on, staying on, and we'll. We got our show Tuesday night, and then we'll be doing interviews and all that stuff all week. So, back at it.
You got my my ring already sized?
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. Don't
worry. You send it to me. Have your people talk to my people.
Yeah.
Size 8 right here. It'll replace the wedding ring I don't wear.
All right,
guys,
gents.
you guys have a good season. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll be all over the chat talking. So I'll see you guys there.
Sounds good. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
See you, everybody.
Guys.